FAMESICK, we be in the mix with that rare candy paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, baby, I can't do that shit. And I don't never vote, cause I'm fucking broke. And either way, I know the police ain't gon' leave me alone. On a plane by the visit Glen Rock, need crypto, told me I should bring the Glock with me. So I packed up my piece and I'm sliding. Cause we might get caught up in a riot. Middle finger Trump, middle finger Biden. Fuck a left, fuck a right, is you riding? Know you love to see it, dudes rocking. Ain't no politics, baby, we just talking. From the birds to the bricks, we be in the mix with that rare candy paint job on the whip. Who you with?
Right, we're back. You noticed on your feed, hadn't really been too many RC episodes lately, and that's because I was really busy, and by busy I mean I was watching Hannah Horvath naked. Yeah, I mean it takes up your whole day. It takes up your whole day. Other than my wife, that's the woman I've seen naked more than anyone.
Oh wow.
So before we get into the show, which is girls, we have no women here right now to talk about it, which is how it should be, right? And I want to introduce a new guest to the show, Aggie. I know you mainly from your appearances on Movies, the podcast about the active cinema, but you have a lot going on, man. I was just kind of perusing your YouTube channel and stuff. So just give the RC listeners a kind of glimpse at what you do.
Well, for the last about maybe 10 years or so, I've been doing live streaming and also making music. So those are the kind of the primary things. I've in the last few years been so blessed to become a part of the cinema podcasting universe. Yeah. It's a great honor that every man comes to at one point in his life, I think eventually. So doing that got me a lot more educated cinematically. I'm learning and knowing more. I'm not just always slop consuming like I did for a lot of years, I'm sure. Otherwise, I do some other YouTube appearances and videos as well. Did more of that back in the day. I eventually kind of became more of a streamer because I'm lazy and I don't want to have to do concepts and scripts or anything. I'd rather just go live, and I'm a very kind of energetic person sometimes to really go and party hard on the stream. So
live streaming is a newer thing to me. A lot of sports. I do a lot of sports live streams and stuff, which is really fun because one guy just presses record and I'm done. And I was like, it's so decadent. It's like it's like having a team, like assistants and stuff, but I've really enjoyed that process lately. So it's typically centralized on YouTube, right? A lot of your work.
Yeah. Hypothetically, of course, I never would violate YouTube's terms of service, but hypothetically, I've had about 8 or 9 YouTube accounts. The one that I'm back on now with like 13,000 subscribers got taken down for about 4 years or so, but they brought me back last year and let it sit for a minute, decided to get back into it, give it a try again. And so, I do a little bit.
I know the reinstatement of YouTube, like randomly, I just got like a 3-month thing. They're like, hey, all your strikes are gone. I was like, why? The stuff I said was less racist or something. Like I don't know. It was just I think it was. But yeah, the new sheriff was in town, I guess, and they were like, "Hey, get these guys back." Of course, our other guest. He's been on plenty of times, and I as well on Movies, a podcast about the active cinema. But first off, new background. I have not seen this new background. This is so sick.
I found
the cityscape.
I found a 3-board poster of New York City in the late 20th century. So you can't really see it, but the Twin Towers are back here. I was like, I need to change up the bathroom tile background that I've had for 5 years. I think it's important. You got to change your surroundings or how you do things, even if just subtly, to keep it feeling a little bit fresh.
Yeah, because you did have the J. David Osborne, Tom Clancy, like Ghost Recon lighting situation in the past, which I did like, but he did that as well. So you do have to differentiate yourself from J. David Osborne, I think. So that's certainly. We're all trying to do that constantly as people.
And it's been a second since I've done a podcast with either one of you guys. I mean, we did, Glenn, where we left off was Entourage, right? This is kind of the spiritual sequel to that.
Yeah, because the other guy quit the Entourage.
The other guy. The other is DC the other guy now. Yeah, he's retired.
DC. I love he still listens to everything, by the way.
Does he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He still listens to everything. He hit me up. I think I said, I was like, I think he thinks I'm a moron. And I was like, just messing around. I get a DM. He's like, I do not think you're a moron. I was like, dude, where did you find that? Was like an hour.
I love that he is so quick to fact check and clear the air immediately as soon as the episode's published. He's out in Greece right now shooting his. Yeah. I got such FOMO, honestly. I got a role in that, and then just dried up. I guess it disappeared. I don't know. I want to be on a Greek beach for the summer. There's no room for me there, I guess.
I know the guy is just killing it right now and stuff. Entourage takes not his best thing. I mean, it's okay. Like everybody has their, weakness.
It was kind of the catalyst, I think, for his podcasting career as even just like a guest. That was a wrap. The intense heated debate between you guys on, I don't even remember. What was it? What prompted the back and forth, the friction that was
he
there?
Said that Entourage was just full of just bad guys. Like they're all just bad and irredeemably bad. And I was just like, that's not, I don't think the show goes that deep to really like the show is so surface level. And that's like the whole concept of the show. So to be like anybody, I mean, now we're going to talk about a show where they get really into the characters and stuff. So I think there's more room for that there. And I was just like, I like to go at that guy. I think him and I have debated like 9 things to that level a few times, and I love it personally because I come from Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, like
I can recall
unemployed sports debate shows, so I love that stuff personally.
You guys, your first episode together was like a Morrissey episode, right? And I remember like 3/4 of the way in, he kind of sucker punches you with some remark where he's prompting like a debate to happen, and it's like an unexpected thing. It goes from like a cool casual convo to back and forth. But I mean,
he's great. I love that stuff.
With DC, you have to understand it took me years to figure this out, that like he's not doing it in a malicious way. He's doing it just because he's very blunt. He's very straightforward. And a lot of people don't get that. I mean, when he came out to host the Roxy screening, there was a little friction with him and a friend of mine because of that. Because within like 5 minutes, he said something like, "Don't be performative." To this guy he just met. And I was like, "Oh man, this is
no, not Darius. He would never do something like that." No, I can take that because I like that. Like that's how I know when you kind of are my friend, is when you can kind of just be like, "No, you fucking idiot. What are you saying?" I like. And it's tough when you're like podcast. Like a lot of people don't want to do that, but it's like, hey, we're all clearly talking about stuff we feel pretty strongly about. Like, it'd be kind of weird if that opinion didn't happen. Like, if that didn't happen. And I think the one time we really agreed on something was that The Brutalists sucked. I think like we were like in lockstep on every aspect of that, and I was like, this is weird, dude, because I thought like when he told me about that movie, about how bad it was, I was like, well, I'm gonna go see it, and I was like, I bet I'm gonna like it. And then I saw it and I was like, I think I actually hate it more than you do. And whatever. And then that was the one time we did a 8 Plates episode on it, which is that even around? I think I have the master recordings of it.
He and I were supposed to do an episode on The Brutalist. And as a matter of fact, you can go to the Vox Lux episode of movies. And I'm like, DC, what the fuck, man? We had this scheduled. You just did this with Glenn Rockney. Why would we talk about this now? So it comes full circle. Eggy, I was shocked to hear you're a fan of Girls, by the way. Bucky dropped that in just out of the blue on me, and I was like, we got to get Eggy in here.
Great.
I was brought into hearing about the series, I don't know, probably a couple years ago. And before that, I think it was in passing. I would follow people on social media or whatever that were critical of Lena Dunham. They're like, oh, she's a freak. She's a sicko. She's unwell. So I just had this negative opinion. I mean, and it kind of maybe helped me enjoy her character in the show a little bit more, because there's certainly times that she's absolutely just unbearable,
repugnant.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, okay, well, and I actually get into the show. I don't know. I mean, there's shows that I feel like just in passing, I'll get this feeling about them that they're really not up my alley, and that it would be like a total mismatch for me to have anything to do with the show. But I had it recommended to me, and I kind of finally, maybe I guess a few months ago, 2-3 months ago, decided to give it a real shake, see what it's all about. And by the time I went to the first season, I was like, okay, I mean, this is a real show. It's not just something that people adopted as an identity or whatever, and it's
Yeah.
very surface level, very flimsy. I was like, oh, there's a lot going on here, and kind of went in from there.
Yeah, you're totally right, and I'm new to it too. So this is a show that I remember it being huge. I remember it being huge. I remember people watching it. My parents, I had moved out at the time, and I'm really bad at TV. Like I don't really have a lot of series that I follow for the most part. I've seen a lot of the big major ones, but I don't really constantly have a TV show that I'm watching. I can watch any movie. It's weird, but like if TV is bad for like one episode, I'm like, nah, I'm out. I have like zero patience for it. It's very strange. And I don't watch a lot of sports, so it's typically like that's what's on at night in my house a lot of times. So it's kind of tough for me to get into a series. But my wife used to have this job that would give her a day off during the week, and I would work. And she binged this show, and I was kind of just like, well, that's probably not something I'm into anyways. Yeah, why don't you just go ahead? And she watched it, but it was kind of like she had this kind of like, I think girls actually get really uncomfortable by this show more than men do. Like they kind of, it's really putting like the Room Raiders jizz black light from like Room Raiders all around their thing. Like they get it's a really in-depth look at like what they are. And I think as guys, we sit back with the popcorn and we're like, yeah, fucking that chick, you know, like
as guys, we watch Adam demand his girlfriend to crawl across like broken construction material and beg like a dog. And we all say that's literally me and start clapping. That's what I did.
That's the most relatable part, of course. We're going to get you right back to the episode, but I just wanted to let you guys know of a few other things we offer at Rare Candy Industries. We have a Substack with free and paid subscription options. Free subscribers get access to all written content. That includes Bob's Red Pill. That's the best thing going on the internet right now. Trust me. Paid subscribers get full access to our premium episode feed. And that's just every episode we don't necessarily want to share with the general public, if you know what I'm saying. Again, that's rarecandy.substack.com. We also have merch. That link's a little long for me to say right now, but go to the description, go to our merch store, and find a shirt that's right for you. We have Rare Candy shirts, Dr. Bronner soap label shirts, Rishi mushroom shirts, all types of stuff there. Check it out. There's got to be something for you. And lastly, check us out on social media. On Instagram, we're Rare Candy Pod, but on Twitter, we're at Rare Candy Pod 1. All right, enough of that. Let's get you back into the episode. And then I remember recently, and you know, I had been told by like, you know, by Jack and all of these people, and you just hear them really touting, you know, the show, and I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. I just never got around to watching it. But what was weird was on Max, Tiny Furniture showed up on Max one day, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to watch this, and it's like 90 minutes, like whatever. My wife and I watched it. I said, man, I actually really dug that. I was like, this is a good movie. It was just kind of it's definitely a time capsule for sure. I mean, there's people that aren't even the same gender anymore in that. And it was like, I really liked that. And then after a while, and then my wife went out of town a couple of weeks ago. I was like, I'm going to watch this show because I didn't think she'd want to watch it again. Newsflash, later she's right there on the couch with me watching every episode again, and she's just locked in. I mean, she was locked in like I was, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, there is a lot happening here. This is clearly an extremely talented woman. Like we're just like, wow, this is like Woody Allen for girls, and even to a degree, like there's like a little bit more. The problem with her, she's not prolific otherwise. I think she's an excellent writer. Her books are good. Which I just did. But, you know, Woody Allen every year gave you a movie. It might have been the same movie all the time, but he gave you a movie every year. And I think Lena Dunham's torture is that she's really only done this. That Netflix series that she just put out, trash, I thought, personally. I didn't
even know she did a Netflix series. I mean,
the big girl with that big girl. What's her name? Oh gosh, the big girl from she's in the show. She's in the show Hacks. This big girl from Hacks. She's like the Lena Dunham stand-in, and it just doesn't work. It's too cutesy. I didn't like it at all. But yeah,
that would be kind of cool if Lena Dunham just starts casting surrogate fat girls like Woody Allen has cast surrogate like nebbish Jewish characters over the years.
I kind of hate when Woody Allen does it too. That's why I think there's a lot of parallels between the two, because my least favorite Woody Allen movies. My least favorite Woody Allen movies are the ones he's not in.
I think with me, like looking at what Lena Dunham has, her perspective, it seems to be, you know, there's like certain maybe just very particular concepts and issues and thoughts and kind of energy that she holds close to herself, and like that this energy that she has close to herself that comes like of her experiences. and sometimes in a way that makes it obviously uniquely known to her, or something about her specifically. I think that just, there's like a marking of that on everything that she's involved with. Like, she's not really separating herself from her basest comparisons to in her character.
That's true. Because it is 1-to-1. I mean, because I know Lores, you read it, like the newest memoir. I did the audiobook at work, and I found it fantastic. I mean, she's a wonderful writer. I mean, it's like, wow, like maybe just write books.
Were you guys in her meeting the other day, the live meeting with the guy and the girl that were hosting the live Q&A?
No. Was it Lenny Letter live?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know if you did it through her website or through like her social media or whatever. But yeah, we had a cast on the TV. She was like laying in bed and like talking to like her fans and like answering questions. So all the real Dunham heads were there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a fucking poser right now, personally. But
she was laying in bed as she was conducting this.
That's
it was like kind of how we had the setup here. It was like this duo, like a guy and a girl, and then she's like on her phone or something. So yeah, it's like the camera angles like coming up, like she's like, yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah,
she's vibing. She's chilling.
Wow, incredible. No, it's just incredible. And I thought FAMESICK was really good. It's frustrating. There's times where you want to just like fucking grab her and shake her a few times. Like, you realize this is completely something that you. And the problem is she does realize a lot of the stuff is her fault. It's very self-aware, and that has its own kind of maddening effect to it when you're just like somebody who knows that they're kind of addicted to crisis. Everything that is kind of wrong turns into a 5-alarm fire.
Did you find that there was a drop off in the second half of the book?
A little bit.
I've heard that criticism a lot, and I do think that the first half or 3/4 are very interesting because she's dealing specifically with fame and the people she's interacting with in the industry, and Jenny Connor and her working with Judd Apatow and the dude with the cleft lip who's fucking her in the slide, who's a character in Tiny Furniture. Well, I immediately assumed was just Ray, but I guess it wasn't the dude who plays Alex Karpovsky. I guess it's not that guy, just another cleft lip guy.
Yeah.
And then the last like quarter of it is just dedicated to detailing these hookup experiences with seedy guys, like drug addicts and people she met on apps, and some dude who's accusing her of stealing the idea for an episode of Girls from him, and all this stuff, which is all like, it's all going to be interesting because it's through her perspective. But I felt like, I guess we're trailing off into something else here, and I don't know if I vibe with it as much.
Yeah, I still enjoyed it. I mean, some of the medical stuff is like really frustrating to me, is just kind of for what I am, a little bit for what I believe. I'm like, okay, so you're scared to go outside and you're malnutrition. Okay. Like, it just kind of this, like, there's a little vitamin D could go a long way here, Lena, like just a little bit, like it's that whole like showing somebody I mean, some of her problems that she has are like legitimately horrible. You have to get like your uterus removed and endometriosis. These are all like horrible illnesses if you ever know somebody that goes through. But some things where I'm like, day-to-day life could still be a lot better for you. I feel like, if you just, but then you somebody that's smart enough to know that won't do it. You're just like, fuck. Like, and then there's also these parts in the book. These are just parts that are maddening, but again, it's kind of like a talk radio person that you're just like annoyed with kind of sometimes, where you still find a home listening to them. But she says, like, there's all these parts, like especially the reaction to Girls. She wanted to piss off a certain kind of guy, Matt Walsh-ish kind of tier, just this Daily Wire conservative guy, Turning Point USA style person. She wanted to piss off that type of guy with Girls, and she did. Right? There were people that called her pedophile for like the sister thing and all of these things, but you can tell the real criticism that actually hurt her was from like Jezebel and from these lib publications that she's like touting in the first season of Girls, whether it's ironically or not. Like, it's clearly something she's reading regularly, and those are the things you can tell, those are the ones that eat at her. But then she comes back to, and men need to listen to women, and men, it's like, you're sad because girls hate you.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, did you happen to read her first book?
No,
Not Your Average
I
Girl?
haven't read it. No,
I read it back when it first came out, and I remember it being interesting, but it was kind of like, I wanted that book to be this new book that came out, because this is all way more interesting stuff.
Okay.
Is how she got jump started. That's all.
Yeah.
I honestly, my memory on it is foggy because it's been like 10 years. But I mean, I watched Girls pretty much live. I think I might have hopped in around like season 3 or 4, and it drew my attention specifically because, I was about 23 or 24,
Right.
trying to learn independent cinema, independent film, and Tiny Furniture had the recognition of being shot on like a Canon 7D consumer grade camera, like a DSLR. And it had gotten so much attention, and people were like, well, she's a Nepo baby. Her parents are artists or whatever. And that's true, right? But the fact that
Yeah.
she went like direct to Criterion Collection with that film, people started paying attention, and it started like broadening the perspective on how can we actually make some movies here. And a lot of her friends, some of which are mentioned in the book here, like Ty West or Greta Gerwig,
Yeah.
also coming up around that same time, doing something similar.
Mumblecore.
And, yeah, the mumblecore era is kind of forgotten now. I think it's going to come back around in some fashion. There's some interesting stuff in there. A lot of it is like unwatchable today. I think nostalgia has to kick in for that to become watchable
Sure.
again. But it was an interesting period of time for art, because you have that, and then you also have like alt lit around the same time in the New York City scene of like Tao Lin and Mira Gonzalez and Megan Boyle and all these people who were putting out either self-published or they were publishing each other, just like nepotism publishing, and that defined that early 2010s period of autofiction.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I missed this whole vibe. Like I missed this whole era. I was like into like rap and stuff at the time. So like, and I'm from California. So it's kind of like we had these type of girls, but they just didn't look like that. The city didn't look like that, but the girls were like that. But they liked different things. They wore Stevie Nicks hats instead, like and like the Coachella gear and like the kind of, the stuff like that. Like that's kind of more what we had. So it's I think this show hits too close to home for a lot of people, but I have a safe enough distance from the aesthetic of it all. A little bit, like to where like a lot of people are like, oh dude, I was like in Brooklyn in that time, and it's just like going back to that time is fucking weird and stuff. And I can sense that that's kind of the vibe amongst a lot of people when they talk about this. And I'm kind of like, no, I remember seeing these people, but I didn't know like what any of the bands they were talking about. Like I still don't know what like any of these indie rock bands are that they're talking about. Like, the whole Desi and Marnie thing is hysterical to me. But like they're talking about all these bands they're trying to be like, I'm like, I don't even know what that is. So it's kind of nice coming at it from there. Like you're able to kind of watch this and not be like ruined by it a little bit. And I think that's kind of what the legacy of Girls is it ruined a certain type of person's brain. It's not me personally. I'm not that type of person. So that's why I really liked it. But I was I mean, we're the same age. So it's kind of like around that time, I just remember everybody stopping what they were doing to talk about this show. And you would just hear about all the time, like Lena Dunham is like racist and all this stuff. She doesn't have black girls in the show. You would hear that she was a hipster racist and all these things. And I remember kind of knowing what Sam Hyde was at the time a little bit, and just knowing the Adam Driver, Sam Hyde kind of parallel, which that's clearly what's happening, right? Is the Adam Driver is like a Sam Hyde, right?
That does make the show a lot more enjoyable. I mean, the character can stand on his own regardless, but just as being in the with the internet history that I've been around for, to kind of plug that in. And I think on almost all counts that I know, that almost the entire show, I don't know if there's a single point where the character breaks that archetype. I think that he fits pretty much perfectly in that. So it can give you a little chuckle to kind of imagine the background of that. But I also I definitely feel your sentiment about, because I was there when it came around, and it just I wasn't even watching a lot of TV back in the early 2010s anyhow. But the people were kind of like, oh yeah, this wouldn't be for you. Watching it back now, I actually did feel a little bit nostalgic. For those early seasons. I'm thinking about, I'm like, yeah, damn, it's my college years. I didn't think I would ever care to remember them. I basically try to get out there as soon as possible and just get into working instead. But I was there, I was in the mix, and it's brings back some things, and I guess that's part of getting old. The nostalgia's there.
Yeah, and the first season, I mean, she does this thing. She's you could tell she's a natural writer in a sense that she wants to hook you in, and by hooking you in is here's my disgusting body, and it does. You will like it catches you off guard every time. I've watched this show in a span of 2 weeks. I watched the entire show. I'm shocked every time it happens. And the first scene of Girls is anal sex, basically, or some sort of weird sex ritual between Adam Driver's Adam Sackler characters, not Adam Sandler, Adam Sackler. You hear it from a lot of people. Like I remember my mom telling me about the show. She's like, oh, my mom's just a liberal woman, and she's like, I love Adam Driver. Now it just took me a long time to get to like him after Girls, because it's his character. And I was like, is he like Nazi? Is he like? I start thinking like, there's all these like, what does she do to this character in the show? Where and then you realize like half the time you're just like, this is a normal guy. I think it's a very accurate view of a man too. Like I was like, man, this is a woman that knows men. That's what I really liked about it. I mean, the fact that Adam Driver's character is just constantly doing construction projects that yield nothing, which I love. He's just remodeling stuff. There's just like weird projects happening, but you never see like a table that's made or any sort of utility to any of these things. And he's just this like depressed, like Edgar Allan Poe character in a house. And so true. So true. And his spaz outs, the other Sam Hyde parallel is that you could listen to Sam Hyde for like 8 hours straight and not hear him laugh once, and then you'll hear this really crazy laugh every once in a while, and you'll be like, whoa, and it shocks you, and that laugh definitely comes from Adam Driver. I didn't know a lot about Adam Driver. This era of Star Wars is not for me, so I don't think I've seen any of the Kylo Ren characters. I never saw Marriage Story. I've watched him, that horrible Ferrari movie that he did. I watched, so I'm not going to put that against him. Hated that movie.
How dare you slight Michael Mann? Michael Mann.
Michael, oh man, that was a tough one. Yeah, it was a tough one, Mike.
I love the crash sequence in that movie where they just swap out all the people with CG crash dummies instead.
Yeah, it's just Adam Driver and Penelope Cruz, just salon drama for most of the time too. Just
it's good. House of Gucci. I love House of Gucci.
I never saw it.
A lot of people say it's horrible, and if they're trying to meet it on like a real level, then it is horrible. But if you're looking at it from like a 90s biopic, 80s biopic sort of way, it's a blast. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. No, and I will check that out, because I was like, man, Adam Driver is like phenomenal in this. He's so good. Everybody's good in the show. Like you get down to like the parents' characters. Who's the dad again? He's the bosom buddies guy.
Peter Scolari.
R.I.P. But I think he passed away a few years ago. But he's great. His arc as a gay man after a while is really funny. The mom is really good. Lena Dunham's mom in the show. Hannah
also
Horvath
gets naked for one.
She
scene.
does.
Yeah.
They have sex, and that's a nice foreshadowing, because he's not able to have sex without falling down and like knocking himself out in the shower, which then plants the seed later for him being gay, which I really like. I really respected the tight 30-minute comedic aspect with a sound plot to this show, because I'm like, that just doesn't exist anymore, unless I'm missing it. Like who is doing this right now? Just this format of television, which I really miss, because I'm not.
You are right about that. You see a hell of a lot of comedies now that decide to stretch it out to 42 minutes or 50 minutes, and it's not a workable formula. I think it's really left best concise, and the way that you're able to breeze through the show. I mean, you finished it in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I didn't fully rewatch the series in time for this. I'm on season 5 at the moment, but I have seen the complete series. I watched the series live, so I know what happens.
Right.
It's so easy to just sit down and you're having your dinner, and then suddenly half the season is gone.
Yeah,
right.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I will say, like, if there is a weak point in the show, I'd say season 2 is kind of like, there's like a dark tone to it that, like, I don't know, man. Like, they kind of all blend together now that I'm done. Where I'm kind of like, I don't even remember what happens in season 2, to be quite honest. But like, I just remember thinking like, wow, this really like kind of slowed down a little, because season 1 is like really slapstick. to a degree where it's just like, it's really fun. You can tell it's really trying, like, pick us up for a long time. You know, this is really funny. We're trying to do this. And then season 2 there, and, you know, she goes through it in the book. I think by season 2, she's really going through some like really tough stuff, you know, with Jack Antonoff and all of these, all these other things in the book. So it kind of mirrors life a little bit. But then by like season 3 on, I just kind of loved it all. I was just like, this is like, I could have done 9 seasons of it. I'm glad they didn't. But I think they get it right with these 4 girl characters, 3 of which are massive, what they would say is Nepo babies now. But I like nepotism in Hollywood because, again, I come from sports where I'm like, yeah, if Peyton Manning has a kid, let's have a look. You know, like Tom Brady, like genetics matter. They do. I'm sorry. Like people are always going to get a crack at it. Like, yeah, Dakota Johnson might put out Madam Web, but I think we get a little bit more good out of the nepotism pipeline than bad. I mean, or at least enough to keep tapping into it. It's not like everything's garbage that the sons of celebrities do. I mean, like everyone loves Nicolas Cage now. Like everyone thinks Nicolas Cage is the greatest thing. Was there no nepotism there? Like it's just ridiculous. But you have Allison Williams, who's her form of nepotism is she's 2 news anchor kids.
Who's the other one? I know
Jane something. She's MSNBC. So CNN and MSNBC kid. And she plays Marnie, who is the scariest woman I've ever seen on TV. She is so scary. And then you have Zasha Mamet, right? The David Mamet's daughter, who, you know, her arc becomes really awesome towards the end. She becomes kind of the coolest one, which is kind of funny. Like she kind of red pills herself on friendship later, and as you get older, and she just marries a 12-step guy, and it's kind of awesome. But I think the show wins because of that. The show wins, like you get the casting right on those 4 girls, and then you have Lena Dunham writing. It could have gone on forever. It could have gone on another season. I'm glad it didn't, but I think you could have squeezed more out of it.
Honestly, extremely, the synergy there is what I mean. Yeah, it's everything, because if I don't, there's not really like any characters that I feel particularly that I can think of that are, you know, just really flat or one dimensional, that have like a lot of appearance or anything like that. I mean, even I think with the casting of her own parents, I think that both of they really nailed their roles 100%. Obviously, Adam. I don't know who the casting director was, if Lena Dunham had a role in that also, but yeah, I can't think of any way that she could have done it better.
No. You know, something that I want to give this show credit for is that, and you kind of touched on this a little bit with Shoshana, but the character arcs, they accurately get how different of a person you become from your early 20s into your late 20s, early 30s.
Maybe the best. Maybe the best I've seen, honestly.
Yeah. With Adam, you're introduced to Adam, and he's like a weird guy with sexual quirks. And then gradually he gets older and kind of compartmentalizes that, and then does have his werewolf out moments, but like he becomes a brand new person. He's an actor. He's clean shaven. Right. He changes his hair up. He doesn't have like the bowl cut anymore. And you get introduced to these other characters along the way. I mean, if anybody stays consistent, it's probably Ray. Ray stays
to his own demise, in my opinion. He needed to change.
He's starting off a lot older than everybody else. Yes. I think he's the old man at like 33 or 34 when we're first.
So he's like almost 40 by the time the show ends, character-wise.
Yes. And he kind of, exactly to what you just said, he stays the same to his own demise, and he doesn't wind up really with anything to show for it in the end.
He's also a communist too. That's a big problem. Is like when you're 33, hanging out with 20 somethings, you won't grow. Like you're gonna watch them kind of like snap out of stuff a lot of times. But like that's kind of the problem when you're that old and you're like, okay, like you're dating a girl that age, whatever, and I don't really give a shit. But if you're like friend group, the most of the people you talk to are just people that will nod their head when you spurg out and rant and stuff. That's actually one of the more embarrassing characters in the show, even though I like the character a lot. There's a lot of times where you're like, man, yeah, Ray gets it and all that stuff. But he really, towards the end, starts like hammering, like, I want to start like a socialist library and all these things. I'm like, damn, you're like fucking 40 years old. and he's like reading the New York Times talking about like Paul Krugman, like very Chapo Trap House, like tier stuff, and you're thinking like, man, this guy really suffered from hanging out. Like he suffered more from that than like what you would think is the predatorial 33-year-old guy hanging out with like the 22-year-old. It's like, no, actually the 33-year-old suffers from that a lot of times, is they end up becoming, it's like when you meet a guy like you'll see that like a guy dressing it'll be like a 47-year-old divorced dad guy like that dresses like a Persian like auto guy, you know, like after a while you're like, he wears like the weird sun, he dresses like Scott Storch, you know, or something like that. When you start like seeing that guy, you're just like, that's the problem, is like you never really have to look in the mirror a lot of times, because the mirror is full of young people and you just like, well, I blend in. So
that's a spooky thing to see for anyone
spooky
in your friend group who's kind of venturing into their late middle age, or like early middle age rather,
right,
like 40s and so on. If they're in the wrong track, if they're in the wrong lane, it's like, oh man, you're gonna be fucked if you keep going in that direction. You better straighten up. And Ray goes in the wrong direction. He
never has any like one thing that makes you snap out of it either, where like, okay, other people get into way worse stuff, drugs, weird sex and all that stuff. Like he has some bad relationships. No one ever really takes him seriously as the one, other than Shoshana, only because he took her virginity, really. Other than that, like for the most part, nobody really takes him that seriously. So he never has that like rock bottom moment a lot of times. Really his rock bottom moment is, and I shed a little thug tear for my guy Colin Quinn dying at the end, where Colin Quinn dies. But like you look at Colin Quinn's apartment, he's just an old archived guy, and it's like that one hits me a little bit too. Or I'm like, fuck, is that gonna be me? Am I just gonna die like on my like sleeping one day of something I don't know that I have, and everyone's gonna be like, look at all his tapes. Ugh, it's depressing. But Ray never has that. Ray always has these like little minor things that happen. He always has a job. He's always employed. ends up kind of going upward in terms of owning the shop, whereas Adam's character is just up and down, kind of up and down, up and down. And I think he kind of comes out not on top. I won't say on top, but if you were to look at Adam's character from the first episode, you'd be like, that guy's doomed. I don't know if he was. I don't know if he was. Like, I don't know if raising Riz Ahmed's baby with Hannah is like the number one thing I need to have happen.
The fate of Hannah in this series is just like, you know, they often speculate, they being like people online, even people who are detractors of Lena Dunham, that she can't help but tell the truth, and that's why the show is good. Like, despite her own belief system, she still winds up arriving at the truth of the situation. And for her character to be a single mom raising like a half Arab baby from some dude who just wanted to pork her and get the fuck out of there,
rapping to Kanye's slow jams, like rapping at that was a perfect encapsulation of California surf culture, by the way. Is like everybody thinks it's like cool bead shop people and stuff. It's like, no, it's actually like really drunk, like mixed race people, like rapping to Twista, like Kanye slow jams, and like doing their own thing, and then drinking like weird slushy drinks. Like that's actually what happens, which is, hey, it's sick. I'm not gonna lie, like it's actually kind of fun. Been there, but like he's like in his late 20s. Riz Ahmed, I love his character in this, because I remember right around this time he had The Night Of.
The Night Of. That's, you know what? That's another HBO show that's kind of like people forgot about it. I think it rode the wave of Serial, and people were like, what was it? What was the dude's name who allegedly or convicted did kill his girlfriend?
I can't remember.
Hae Ming Lee, I think, was her name, and his name was Adnan. And then the reporter fucking clearly fell in love with this dude, and now he's free. Now he's walking around DC or wherever the hell he is. The Night Of rode the wave of Serial's popularity. When you had that, you had Making a Murderer, the true crime explosion that would be so toxic for culture, for pop culture. And we're kind of just like fizzling out of that now, where it's like My Favorite Murder and Last Podcast on the Left, they don't have the same sort of clout that they used to have. And I think that was like really unhealthy in retrospect for so many women, especially, to be really focused on these murder cases and all of that sort of thing. He's great on The Night Of. John Turturro, also great on The Night Of.
That's one of his best.
Replaced Gandolfini. Gandolfini dies of a heart attack.
No
John
way.
Turturro steps in. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I think Gandolfini's listed as a EP or a producer on the series.
I don't know if that would have
post-mortem.
worked. I don't think that works as much with Gandolfini. That's kind of funny. I don't know.
It depends on how he's going to perform it. Like if I'm imagining Gandolfini's performance is probably going to be similar to Killing Them Softly. If you
yeah,
saw that movie.
I didn't, and I don't like that movie.
You don't like that movie?
No, the Brad
I
Pitt.
love George V. Higgins. So that was
Mhm.
based on a book called Cogan's Trade, I believe.
Yep.
Which is
Coogan's
a lot
Bluff.
better than the movie. Cogan's Bluff.
Coogan's Bluff.
Yeah.
Or Cogan's Bluff. Something like that.
And I love the cast of that movie, like Ben Mendelsohn being strung out, disgusting,
Mm-hmm.
wet-looking heroin addict, just wet all the time. Him and Scoot McNairy. So I like aspects of it, but I think it's an imperfect film.
Yeah.
I would imagine like Gandolfini would probably deliver something similar to what we see in that.
But Riz Ahmed, I just remember him being because I don't know what the hell he's doing now. I get him confused with Hassan Minhaj a lot, which for obvious reasons.
Oh, that's so insulting to
yeah. I was kind of because I just was like, oh, is that what he's doing now? I was like, oh, that's a different guy. Got it. So this is a different guy, but yeah, his character as the surf instructor is incredible with it, and I mean, one of the funniest lines is like when Hannah wakes up after a night of just debauchery, and it's a pretty fateful sexual moment between the two. There's a lot of sex that kind of gets cast off to the side, but the very fateful sexual moment, and she wakes up and just throws up all over his floor in there, and it's this like red slushy barf, and she says, those slushy drinks were a lot stronger than I thought. And she's like, I thought I was just drinking slushies all night. And he just says, well, you probably shouldn't have been drinking that many slushies, even if they were slushies. And it's just like, fuck. It's like, it's so good. Like nobody writes funny stuff like that anymore. That's actually like clever, but it's not trying too hard. It's not winking at you or anything. It's not breaking this fourth wall or anything. It's like, it's actually this kind of throwaway line that'll make you laugh really hard. And it's a very, very very fateful scene of the show. So,
to go back to something that you had said before, where you felt like season 2 is maybe a either a misstep or like tonally it just wasn't the vibe you were looking for. I felt that way more so about season 4. Season 4 is where I felt like it started to get a little wacky. Like we cycled through the most realistic trajectories for these characters.
Is that the Iowa Riders? Is that the Iowa Riders workshop season?
Yeah, that's when she goes off to Iowa, and her and Adam have their break where they're talking once a month, and she comes back, and suddenly Mimi Rose is in the picture. And this scene has gone, it's become very popular, removed of any context, people passing it around and having debates about it, whether or not, it was written with her being the villain of the scene in mind, or Adam being the villain of the scene in mind.
The abortion thing. Is that
yes, where she and I forgot how rapid that abortion is. Like you're literally introduced to the Mimi Rose replacement girlfriend character, and then I think the next episode is when she's like, "Oh yeah, I can't go out. I gotta lay down. I feel sick or whatever. I just got an abortion yesterday." Very dark.
It's jarring, and she has like. They later tease that Mimi Rose has a they're like, oh, it's like this like Asperger's like affectation that she does, and you're like, so is that even real? The thing she's doing, like, is any of this stuff real? This whole like, and when you go on like the internet now and you see these like, I'm doing like actual concept art on like my Twitter account, and you're like, fuck, this person is just everywhere. Whether like now, like especially now, and it's like even it's real and it's blunt. These quick things that happen. Yeah, I agree with season 4 is odd. I think once the ball gets rolling on it, I like it a lot. I think season 5 might be the best season of the show in my opinion. Like I think you could almost end it after season 5. Like I think there could have been a way. I really thought it got going strong there. But I think the best way to talk about this show is kind of just to talk about the characters, because it is just it's a character show. I mean, it's what it is. It's a character show. The arcs that they have are really cool and interesting. I think I kind of want to focus on Marnie right now, though. Marnie is played wonderfully by Allison Williams. I mean, it is just like she gets it. In the book, the FAMESICK book, Lena Dunham said like Allison Williams was constantly coming to her with questions about like, now what is it? I'm like, that's crazy. And I know I don't really get the peek behind the curtain. I kind of avoid the peek behind the curtain a lot of times on shows that I like, because it takes away the mystique of it, because I'm not really a craftsman about film. I don't really don't really get a lot from knowing, you know, this aspect, this casting process here and there. I understand when people make films enjoying that, but I kind of like the mystique of knowing it. But she said Allison Williams is constantly coming up to her and saying, like, now is it I'm like, it's crazy to me that she even had a question about her character, because I'm like, this just sounds like it just flew out of her. Like, I would believe it's her if I met her, because there was this other movie that I know her more from, like, horror films. Allison, Get Out, and then you have there was this Netflix movie that I wouldn't say is good, but I liked it, and she ends up sawing her arm off as a violin prodigy or a cello prodigy because she's, like, abused as, like, a child prodigy, and she sees the cycle happening to another little girl. And then she's like, what if we sawed our arms off together or something like that? It was just kind of an odd movie, very entertaining. It was just kind of an entertaining throwaway Netflix movie that I like. But seeing her like this, you never lose that horror film look to her, which I think really helps. But at the time, nobody really knows that she's that in Girls, right? Like, she's Brian Williams' daughter, the guy who lied about being in Afghanistan that one time.
That's right. He did do that. Yeah. I mean, what I think she's probably known for among millennials, at least, is introducing ass eating to the mainstream. Is that Ebon eating her ass was like
from the bear, the guy from the bear,
circulated forever and ever. Yeah. And after that, if there's one thing that millennials love, it is ass eating.
Yeah. And that's not even, I think that goes across, like, we're so racially divided now, but every race talks about ass eating. Like, Kevin, you can listen to Kevin Gates and watch Girls. That's the thing they have in common.
Eat the booty like some groceries.
Yeah, exactly. It's you can do that. So yeah, Allison Williams getting her ass eaten is definitely a certified millennial Chungus moment.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate, speaking of, Desi also being Moss Baccarat also being on the bear. I feel like, the characters have, I'm in recent times increasing my knowledge about actors and their catalog, but these being the two main things that I've consumed of his work. I like to think that there's like a through thread. Like, I could definitely see, like, Desi being in Richie's spot sometimes, or Richie being in Desi's spot sometimes. Like, and that just, enhances the entertainment value of everything that is going on with him, for me, and especially towards the his last appearance with his very relatable reaction to having his necessary medication thrown all over the ground and mixed up with glass.
Yeah, the fact that he keeps a secret suitcase with a mason jar full of Oxycontin is so fucking funny. And it's like the scene is, like, not meant to be funny, but it is. In that kind of those Woody Allen, like, husbands and wives kind of situations where you're like, this is a really dark thing, but I can't stop laughing at, like, Sidney Pollack, and there or something. It's like one of these one of these moments. But I love that the Desi and Marnie thing. I mean, if you don't introduce that into the show, I think the show crumbles. Like, if you that like it, the whole second half of him, because when I first saw him, I was like, well, that's the guy from the bear, because I'm watching this later. This is the guy from the bear. He's gonna pop in the way other guys, like the way Patrick Wilson pops in for, like, an episode or something. Like, oh, okay, like he's gonna be a guy that has a little thing for a couple of episodes, and then
there's a lot of celebrities in the first two seasons that just have
bunch.
Like, I see Henry Zabrowski, Greta Lee is in there. I was very surprised at how many people would, like, blow up. 10 years after being on the show for a split second.
Yeah, but Marnie's biggest problem, I mean, is, and they outright say it in the show, is that, like, you, for one, like, it's a show of, like, a bunch of narcissistic women. Shoshana probably being the least of the four. I mean, not probably, she is the least of the four narcissistic. Yeah. Though I think she ends up learning, like, well, fuck it, I'll be a narcissist too. Like, if I'm not going to be the one that isn't out of my friend group, which is, probably a natural human thing to mirror your friend group. And but the Marnie's narcissism is crazy because this is debatable, but her character is written like the conventionally most attractive one of the three or four, I should say. Like, the one that's gonna, like, if a guy didn't know anything, would go at her first, would talk to her first at the bar. It just happened, like, across all fields. Like, Jessa is more attractive to a certain guy, You know what I mean? Like a certain guy is going to go after that, but like she's the more conventional. Like she could be a politician's wife. She could be Marnie. Could be any of this. And yeah, exactly. The 4 quadrant, the kind of one there, the consensus, right? Out of a lot of these. So she's the one that like could actually have the craziest blast radius for all the bad things that she does, because it doesn't just ruin a couple like hipster people's lives. It could, I mean, you know, you have Christopher Abbott's character, which I don't know if she ruined his life. Like I don't think you can full on say that, but her whole motivation for like the entire thing is just like Christopher Abbott, this ghost of Christopher Abbott in the background. Charlie, is that his name? Charlie?
Charlie, yeah. Charlie, we haven't really discussed. He's kind of the I don't want to call him the cuck boyfriend, but definitely a simp boyfriend.
Oh,
at the
he's
very beginning,
nauseating. Yeah,
he you know, he's very like preppy. He's a buttoned up type of guy, and then you meet him in season 2, and he is, you know, departed from being with Marnie, and he's able to like score some puss, and he's like being successful. And her whole thing is just like, I hate that he's away from me now, and he's kind of succeeding, and I want to get him back. But then when she gets him back, she breaks up with him like mid fuck. Right. So she is like a succubus in this sort of very specific big city narcissist, attractive girl way of like wanting to suck in everything to destroy it if it has nothing to do with her, and then just moving on to the next thing, just grabbing a new turtle shell, sleeping with Shoshana's then ex Ray, going into that before moving on to Ebon's character. What is his name? Sorry.
Desi.
Desi, that's right. Before moving on to Desi. So she's just like a cyclone, you know, going person to person and does not care. It's all about her. Fuck everything else.
She has the only thing that really haunts her like in real time is a video she made of I'm not aware of too many things. Like just like, and the video is so funny. If you ever watched like early artist videos on like YouTube, it's so spot on with like just the like almost like cheesecloth like filmed camera. You're just like, what is like what is happening here? But if you've ever seen that, like that was totally what like independent YouTube guitar girl music was in 2011, or I think it's before that. It's like 2007. They read the comments off, and it's really funny. Disney princess voice. They constantly make fun of her Disney princess voice throughout the show. But she's just this woman who's like she just completely, I mean, it's textbook narcissism in a way, is to just think that everybody else is kind of like an NPC around you, and you're just kind of like, well, what are you carrying in that bag there? You know, it's like when you're a dog, like if you ever like have your hand like this and the dog comes by, and the dog's automatically just like, you're my friend now. And but once the dog sees there's nothing in your hand, or the thing in your hand's kind of boring or something like that, like she's gone, right? So she gets Charlie back. It's this textbook thing, like, oh, perfect. And then she doesn't want it. She doesn't want it. He says, I'd never loved you, and they're having these like little Brooklyn pizza chalkboard menu moments with each other, and he's off, and we don't see him for a long time until he develops this Sopranos affectation accent in denim and is shooting heroin with garbage bags over his window.
But right before that, he's like a CEO of a startup, isn't he? So he's
right. That's when she first gets him back, I believe.
Yeah.
She gets him back, like, because she keeps showing up. Because do you remember that meme, like early meme of the girl, like the stalker ex-girlfriend meme? Oh, yeah. Do you remember that one with the wide-eyed girl? Because that's her, like, girl, yeah, the big bug-eyed girl, where they would put it was like Bad Luck Brian era of memes. That's like what she
Scumbag Steve.
Scumbag Steve, dude. Like I'm just saying, like it's like a pantheon. Zoomers don't know about these ones. They'll have a revival, I'm sure, and in a less funny faction. But at the time, like that was a big thing. And she has 2 modes. She has that, and then she has like Black Widow, like carcass surrounding her in her web moment. Those are the 2 things she has, and it's so true. And only a woman's ever going to actually write that over a long span of things. In the same way that only Gillian Flynn can write Gone Girl. It's like a man can make a comment and go, yeah, that girl does that, like I did in just a sentence, but I can't string that character out along right, 6 seasons.
Illustrate that so accurately and in a patient way. I think you really have to be, in tune to understanding that and having been around that and seeing it as a third party. So she does that very well.
Yeah, and I think if you are the prettiest girl in your friend group, like watch out, because your ugly friend, if they have writing capabilities, you're there. Lena Dunham talks about that. Like she had a friend like that, but her friend wasn't as conventionally attractive, so she didn't want to cast Allison Williams at the moment. But Judd Apatow gave her some advice and said, write the character onto her. Like it's obviously the person who should be playing the character. Like don't find somebody that looks like the character, and then if they're not going to act that way, it doesn't matter. And I think that's I think, this is Judd Apatow. I think now people kind of just might roll their eyes at some of his stuff, but he was on a heater at this time, man. I mean, there was just no topping.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on a heater. Everything he touched was like perfect around this time, in my opinion.
40-year-old virgin, knocked up.
Yeah.
I mean, he's producing super bad.
Even like Zach and Miri
Oz.
make a porno. Like you're just talking about like these movies that maybe aren't like remembered to the degree of these other ones. You're just like, dude, he had a movie every single year with his style on it. I mean, the Bridesmaids comes out at the time. This is right around the time Girls is starting. Bridesmaids comes out. Lena Dunham's on the set of Bridesmaids watching this. You're just like, man, the guy was on a heater. And I think he was very good at keeping her productive. I think Lena Dunham, who is a classic, like crawl in bed and be cozy. Lena Dunham constantly says in the book, I can't make art unless I'm cozy, which unfortunately means you're going to have one big show and nothing else. I think a lot of times because you're going to go through some shit, it's going to be tough. But this Marnie character, I think, is like actually the center of the evilness of like what women can be when they're just completely unchecked. And their punishment is typically like seeing that somebody else got hurt more than them. It's never really them. It's always just like, oh, well, I'm going to get out of this unscathed, and you'll just be like a memory. And I'll feel sad about it maybe, but not really. She doesn't really ever like reflect on how sad it is unless she's just lonely for a little.
That is so accurate. Yeah, it's always everyone else or someone close is punished, and then that's it. It's in the rearview mirror, moving on. And she does wind up with like an unremarkable fate at the end of the series, but it's hardly like the most severe of
Nope.
the batch. And we do have to blame Judd Apatow for the Amy Schumer jump scare that happened like season 2 or season 3 when she popped
That's
up.
season 2.
Like,
That's the season 2 part that I'm not. That's why that show is kind of a little. That part of the show is just odd. Like the Adam's like girlfriend who wants to have normal sex with him, and he's just not quite there yet. And
he's gonna jack off on her instead.
Yeah, and all that and whatever. Very graphic. Like some of the most graphic stuff you'll ever see. You're like, what the? I cannot believe that this is on there. Like HBO has scaled it back. Let's just say that much, because HBO used. I was just like, that looks like real cum.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened? Like, I was like, that's the peek behind the curtain I want. What was that?
He said, I got to handle this lightsaber first before I handle the next one. It is what it is.
Right.
From the 5 to the 6, we be in the mix. With that red candy paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, baby, can't do shit.
It's funny if you go to Adam Driver fans subreddit, which I'm sure we all have. I look because I wanted to look up Adam Driver's politics, which there are none. So the absence of politics, of public politics, usually means something else,
right?
He
joined the military after 9/11.
Yeah, his parents were both Baptists, and his parents were Baptists, like in the church, pretty heavy too, growing up.
And there's certainly some parts of Lena Dunham's book where it's like he's so closed off, and he's very like he's got very structured ideas about certain things, like regarding relationships or sex or whatever, that you can read between the lines on that. But who knows? At the end of the day, I don't think it matters one way or the other necessarily. He's fantastic in the show, and it wouldn't shock me if he was, conservative, Republican, or just some branch of that in some fashion.
You just never saw you didn't see him on the COVID singing Imagine. He always he was a huge star at that time. That was probably when his star was the highest. around that time, and he's not a part of that. And you're just kind of like, huh, he seems to kind of just like, he's pensive, like odd, handsome looking guy, like kind of like unconventionally handsome guy, where like a lot that women really like that, like more than anything, when you have that like weird statue look to you, like kind of like odd art look to you. And so but on their Adam Driver subreddit thing, they're saying like, we know he's I saw it says, I understand that he's anti-KKK, because I guess during the press tour of Black Klansman, he said he does not like the Ku Klux Klan.
Wow.
Which is, I think we all got to give him credit for that.
Yeah. Finally, somebody's taking a stand. It hasn't happened until now, but thankfully, you know, better later than never.
Yeah, I mean, I just, to me, I think that was what they said. I said, we know he's anti-KKK. Because I don't think on the press tour on a Spike Lee movie, you're going to be like, guys, have you ever actually looked into it? It's kind of different. Yeah.
David Duke had some points.
I mean, guys, like these black and white photos, it's just, I could show you a photo and, you know, and so he's not doing, he didn't do that on the press tour. So that was interesting. But with Marnie, still talking about Marnie, they never fuck. Adam and Marnie. It's kind of interesting. I didn't have that. I was like, there's going to be one moment where she, in a moment of weakness, where the minute somebody actually calls Marnie out on her stuff, she immediately fucks somebody. That happens every single time in this show. Every single time somebody just goes like, hey, Marnie, you're like actually the worst human being on earth. She's like, who's the guy you like the most? Okay. Let me just, it's only because I'm sad. And don't worry, it didn't mean anything, even though the guy's going to immediately fall in love with me, but she never ever does it with Adam. So shout out to the bro for that, for Adam for not doing it. I think that's equally on par of condemning the Ku Klux Klan, in my opinion, is not having sex with Marty.
Don't enable the homie hopper.
Yeah.
Sisters before misters.
Agreed. And but he does not have the same fortitude in resisting the what I would say is the Janice Soprano of the show, Jessa. Fading in and out constantly. Everybody knows that type of girl where you don't see her for months. I think she had left the show, and I think like for a while, like in the book, she's constantly thinking about leaving the show. In Lena Dunham's book, she's
trying to get Lena to fire her so she can quit.
Yeah.
And it's just she's constantly getting pregnant behind the scenes.
Yeah, she had a kid before girls, which is crazy. Like that is just not. I wouldn't have been able to tell that in terms of like in terms of who I thought was a mom or something in the show. I wouldn't have thought that. And they've been friends for a long time. They actually are childhood friends, I believe. Jemima.
Right.
Kirk.
She's in Tiny Furniture as well.
Yes. Right? Yes. She's literally the same character too. She's like the studying abroad, like cousin with a British accent that knows about sex more than the other girls do. And like has had like random sex with a bunch of people. Because Jessa fucks some odd people, man. She has sex with Zachary Quinto, I believe.
Playing straight.
A straight guy named Ace, which is short for asexual, I think. But yeah, she has sex with him, but she's used as a pawn because
Mimi Rose,
Mimi Rose, which is
he has like a confrontational moment with Adam in a taxi cab where he's doing this very hipster thing of brushing his teeth in public just as they're hanging.
Is that a
out
thing?
The club. It was a thing for that guy for that moment. Sure.
I thought the way you were saying is like I thought that was it, because I was trying to think like, was that like a New York trend that I just never saw?
I think you know what, not to promote Mass State Lottery, my film. I'm pretty sure I have.
Please do,
because there's a scene where I'm brushing my teeth in the backseat of a car that Hans is driving, and I feel like I had that left over from that scene from 2015 or whatever the hell the episode was. So yeah, it is a thing.
It's the only thing you have in common with Zachary Quinto.
As far as I'm aware.
Okay.
You know. Did you ever see The Slap?
No.
The Slap, which was a remake of an Australian TV show where there's like a cookout or something, and one of the family friends belts a kid in the face because he won't shut up. They had Zachary Quinto play that character.
I'm looking it up, and he's just snarling and shaking a kid in the still.
He's just like evil gay guy in the series. And I remember the ads were like, "You won't believe what happens in The Slap." It's like, it's called The Slap. I can kind of believe it's going to happen.
Yeah, but he slaps a kid, man. It's crazy. He slaps
a kid. And then it's like, they try to do Rashomon, I think, with it, where it's like, was he justified? Did something else happen here?
What even are morals?
Who saw this? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, what a time.
Wow. No, I did miss that one. However, I am intrigued. Jessa also has sex with this odd coke addicted rehab guy. All the rehab sobriety things are really, really good because I find junkies and sober people, specifically sober from narcotics, like 12-step drunks usually become human again. A lot of 12-step junkies, like you're just like, fuck, man, like I'm glad you're not doing that shit anymore, and maybe you're not gonna like steal something from me, maybe. But a lot of times they're like, man, you like are just this husk of a person, like, and it's just gone. And there's that guy who and it's that older guy from rehab who's like smart but not really, like he's just like the smartest guy.
Richard E. Grant, who's
Right.
in With Nail and I think it was just announced as part of the new Celebrity Traders UK season 2 cast.
No shit.
People interested in that, like me.
Wow. So, and his daughter is that girl from The Brutalist too, and that she pops up when she has rashes all over her neck. She's the woman in the wheelchair from The Brutalist, I remember. So these people are all over. I'll never forget The Brutalist, unfortunately. And that I probably remember more about that movie than movies I like. But she's always just like, she's robbing this boutique children's store no one shops at, but just has piles of cash in. That's a very big city, San Francisco, New York parallel thing, is these boutique stores that are clearly subsidized by a rich husband, and supported by that. Nobody's ever buying anything. Jessa is completely absent of any sort of morals whatsoever, unless she's suffering from the situation, and then she becomes a huge moralist. That's the only woman I've ever heard like that. They're otherwise all perfect, in my opinion. None of them have ever done that. This is just a Jessa thing, and she is just she is awful. But also the problem is I'm pretty sure she would be the most likely guest on Rare Candy of any of the girls.
She vibes, you know.
She vibes. She's a
Krishna.
She's
a little too manic.
Miss Krishna is not happening. Yeah, Hannah.
Mouth.
Hannah's the one I'd want on the show, of course. Marnie, she's not coming anywhere near the show. Sorry. Yeah, we put caution tape on there. That's not happening. But yeah, Jessa is the most California of them. Like where I grew up, she's just this like total California girl. I love that her accent pops out randomly. Like she'll just be speaking normally for like sentences, and then all of a sudden the British affectation, when it's not a very serious scene, will like come in. And I think she is British, right? I think Jemima Kirk actually is British, or is, I can't remember. But either way, it's a very inconsistent accent that I find respectful, because these girls all have a degree of like fakeness that they put on. And you get to see it kind of come off in layers. And if you're not really paying attention to it, a lot of times you're just like, oh, that's how they are. But you're like, God damn, man. Like I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on Jessa, but she was another one where I'm like, damn, man.
I enjoyed like the little excursion episode where they go upstate to visit her dad, who is Ben Mendelsohn, one of our finest actors. He's not getting proper work lately.
Shout out. Just watched Place Beyond the Pines the other day for the first time. He's awesome in that.
What, you liked it? All
Loved
right.
it.
A lot of people hate that movie.
Loved it.
I think that's the best American film of the 21st century thus
Damn.
far. I think that's so epic. And Derek Cianfrance is, not to get on Derek Cianfrance, but what he does with every film, and like emphasizing the importance of family and bloodline, and that sort of thing. Nobody else is doing that, and certainly not at his level. So I love that about that movie and all of his movies. But the episode where they go upstate to visit Ben Mendelsohn, who's married to, is it Rosanna Arquette, who's like kind of a hippy-dippy lady, and they've got like a gay son, vaguely gay, bisexual son that Lena Dunham sleeps with. And Jessa is hanging out with like the actual gay guy who's in love with him. That episode, I think it caps off, or comes close to capping off, season 2 or season 3. Really enjoy the use of celebrity talent in the show, even if it's just limited to one episode. Like Patrick Wilson's another one too. The Donald Glover, I have a black boyfriend arc. That
Republican black guy. Yeah. Ayn Rand.
He's into Ayn Rand.
Yeah. That's hilarious. She comes over pretending like she's like, oh, I was gonna see if I could borrow your fountainhead. That just made me laugh really hard. Yeah, Donald Glover. Gosh. Who's now Yoshi. That's what he's doing now. He's Yoshi.
Is that what he's doing?
That's what Donald Glover's doing now. He decided that doing Parliament Funkadelic ripoffs is not as fruitful as it used to be. So now he's doing Yoshi in the Mario movies.
Meanwhile, we need This Is America Part 2 more than ever. You know,
for sure.
Be riding like a giant gas station sign like into the sky or something.
Watching him dance and looking like those Men in Black aliens, the really skinny Men in Black aliens with like the things, I was just like, that music video was huge during like the Facebook era. I remember like people really were just like, this is America. He's got it. This guy's got it. And which is kind of funny because like a lot of times when I see him in shows, I actually kind of like him. Like I didn't mind Atlanta. It's kind of jumps the shark here and there, but I thought it was kind of fun. I thought it was kind of cool to like I thought it had some good moments and stuff. And most time when I see him in things, like I kind of like. I didn't watch Community. I know a lot of people really like that show, but I've never seen even an episode of it. I don't think Chevy Chase called him the N-word. I think it was somebody else on that show.
I don't know if he called anybody the N-word. I think it was taken out of context where he said, you know, if this was blank, I would be saying blank or something. I don't know.
I think he retold the Richard Pryor SNL skit. I think he like retold it, like, and he was like involving other people, and I think he did like. I mean, I'm not even saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think because it was the lady, the kind of heavy set black lady on that show. Because I just watched the Chevy Chase documentary not long ago, which. That guy's like that shit insane, but it's pretty good.
I love Chevy.
He's incredible. He's incredible.
The 20th century legends. He's got so many great films, but I can also totally believe every worst story about him.
He even says it. He's like, yeah, I'm a fucking asshole. Like he's like, I'm really hard to deal with. He was doing like piles of cocaine on top of having that personality, which is like, it's rough.
It's a lot to deal with.
It's a lot to deal with. So yeah, but anyways, Donald Glover's character's really good in it. In the show, I kind of thought he was gonna pop back in here and there, but he probably said no. I can imagine they tried.
Didn't he have something negative to say about Lena Dunham?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think I can imagine him kind of turning on this. What does Donald Glover think of Lena Dunham? I kind of expected him to pop up in the book a little too, and he just does not. He said in 2014. Oh, okay. So in 2014, Glover praised Dunham, calling her one of the smartest people he knows, and noting, quote, she knows what she's doing in regards to handling controversy and managing her show. In 2023 joke incident at the 2023 Writers Guild of America Awards, Glover told a joke where he claimed Dunham used the N-word liberally while discussing a producer. Reps for both Glover and Dunham later confirmed this was a joke made for effect and not a real event. So I don't know.
Well, if it's liberally, then it's okay.
He felt tokenized. Oh, he did say he felt tokenized by the role, which, oh God, shut up.
Sure.
You're a black Republican. Right, first off, like that's not even like tokenized what? Yeah, like it's not like he's emptying like Swisher guts out into a trash can. Like in the show, like
you know, the thing I'll say that's positive about Donald Glover is he knows who to work with. He always aligns himself with like smart creatives. And when you look at Atlanta, I thought the first few seasons of Atlanta were well done. I didn't finish Atlanta because I felt like 2020
no one
came
did.
Around,
no one.
And it was one of those shows where it was like that's still on the air.
Yeah,
you know. The Japanese guy he collaborates with, who directed some of his music videos, that's the actual talented guy.
Interesting.
But he's fine, and he's enjoyable for the episode and a half he's on Girls. This Is America, man, what a moment. I just remember Anthony Fantano being like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, and then giving it a 10 in his video. That's my only memory of the video at this point.
Dude, it came out, and it was just like, it was viewed like people were like, it should win an Oscar and a Grammy at the same time, so like type thing, which, yes.
Best musical Oscar.
It was just like, it had everything that rap had at the time, and like kind of proto woke rap had at the time, though I don't even know how proto it was then, but you because you had like it starts off with like a chorus, like a choir, like that was a big thing. Kanye later took that back, like actually the choir is my thing, which it is, by the way. The choir and rap song, choir intros and all that stuff, he took that back, and now Kanye's his own kind of entity now. I think he's transcends all of that stuff, but at the time, like that was a big thing. If you wanted to make like a woke rap song, was like you would have this like kind of like jubilee of like clapping church people, like saying anything, and then it would flip the switch and go, actually murder. We're murdering everybody. Everyone's dying in the streets. Actually, you don't get your escape. And then that's what that song is. And everyone copied it after a while. Despite I've never met anyone that was a Childish Gambino rapper fan. I know a lot of people that liked his little R&B album and stuff, but I don't know anybody that was like, yeah, that guy be spitting ever. I just never have ever heard it in my life. But apparently it happened. But yeah, so yeah, I really enjoyed that part on there, and I was kind of thinking he was going to come back in, but I guess not. I guess if he felt tokenized by the role, he did not want to accept that. He probably had Atlanta going and said, I don't need that. But talking about Hannah in general, I think she comes off as pretty likable. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not. And I think I'd listen to an opinion of the contrary. This won't be a DC moment here. Like I would listen to of the contrary, because she has all these flaws, and it's Lena Dunham incarnate, really. It's how you feel about Hannah is how you feel about Lena Dunham, I think. I mean, it just is what it is. It's the Woody Allen stand-in. It's the down to the pedophilia rumors, right? I mean, like straight up, like they both have that. Like right. So you have all of these things happening, but she says, like, I think she is really good at kind of just like, if she was hotter, you'd hate her more. I don't know, like the character. I feel like it'd be more. You'd be like, you fucking bitch, you know what I mean? Like, but you're kind of like, this is also a girl who wears like muumuus with like lemons on them. You know, like you're just like, how can I get that mad about that? And I do love that she does the Adam Sandler thing where she punches above her weight class all the time because she's willing to do, like,
I was going to ask you.
I love that. And that's real too. And if you're a guy that fucks a lot, like you have a couple of those on your rap sheet. Like it's not all the Bronze Age pervert fucking hypergamy that you're doing. Like where I fucked fucking 9 Norwegian fucking gymnasts last week. It's like, no, you had it. You got, for you to constantly fuck, you got to hit one of those every once in a while. And you just might not tell people about it.
Watching this with the female perspective that I heard bounce off of me was, oh, it's not realistic. And in my head, I'm like, I think it's pretty realistic.
It's pretty realistic.
I think, yeah, Patrick Wilson would probably fuck that girl, and nobody would ever hear about it. Nobody would ever know
never.
about it. You know, I think it's complete. And so for her to get that criticism, especially back then, that they were even talking about that as the show was airing. It's like, do you know how men are? Do you understand what men are like? I mean, she does. She clearly does. But I think it's lost on some of the audience.
Well, and myself, having been somebody who has a trash can that my neighbors dump their stuff into, and I've seen them and like ran them off with like a broom. I mean, maybe he's like, okay, he's putting himself in a position. Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of intimacy that he's craving for. He's been, doesn't have anybody anymore at the moment. But also at the same time, he's thinking, I'm gonna give her this doctor dick, and she's gonna go back and get them trash cans right. She ain't gonna play about these trash cans no more because she's wanting what I'm packing. It is what it is.
Yep, and I love her admission that actually she gets a sick thrill out of throwing trash where it's not supposed to be thrown and stuff. I thought that was really funny, and also that episode feels like it's a standalone episode where it's not real. Like it is real. It clearly is, because it's validated later by Patrick Wilson telling her that she's pregnant after getting a UTI. He's the doctor in the emergency room doing kind of like some I don't know if it's residency, but he like pops in here and there, and so it is real. But at the time, you're kind of like, is this some fucking dream that she has? Or like, is it? Because that one does stick out. Like where you're like, okay, I could see Adam Driver hitting that, like weird guy pounding fucking nails into wood, like in a thing. Like absolutely could see that. Those like kind of like almost autist like guys like do usually go after something like that a lot of times. And then you see Donald Glover. I think that's a wash personally, Lena Dunham and Donald Glover. Because I asked my wife. My wife's like, "Fuck, he's so fucking ugly." Like Donald Glover. Like it's just like it's just a rough mix. Like you either become Tiger Woods or Childish Gambino when that happens. But yeah, I didn't have any problem with that. And in fact, I've seen, like, have you ever met some guy like that? Like I work a lot of blue collar jobs. So like there's a lot of guys that you'll see, and like, there'll be like these jack dudes that like don't work out at all, but like they look like they could do fucking like 30 pull-ups on site, but they eat just like cup of noodles every day. And you're like, how the fuck are you this big jacked guy? And then you'll see like they'll be complaining about this woman the whole time, and he's like, yeah, but be fucking her, and like, oh man, like she's the best, she knows how to get to me, but she drives me fucking crazy. And you hear these like crazy like Bonnie and Clyde stories they have, like, and all this, like, these nuts thing. And then you finally see that guy get picked up from work by her, because that guy never has a car, by the way. Gets picked up from work by her, and you're like, that chick is the one like driving you insane.
It's always a torta.
Yeah. And you're just like, that's insane. That's what's happening in girls. And first off, she's down to do more sexually than this. Marnie won't suck anyone's dick, by the way. That's been known the entire time. She does not give head. She won't do it. The first couple seasons are her talking about Christopher Abbott, who most girls would risk it all for. Brady Sinellis has done like 30-minute monologues about how he wants to fuck Christopher Abbott and in girls specifically. And so, but she's just like, your fucking balls are disgusting. I would never touch them or any of that. But Hannah really doesn't say no to a lot of stuff. That's exemplified by Adam Driver's mezzo soprano lookalike girlfriend that he smashes a few times, and she doesn't want any of that rough stuff. And Hannah's just like, oh, it's kind of how I trained him, a little bit. And that's actually kind of how, he thought they were all like me. So she clearly will do the most, and that's why she gets the most action. And that's real. That's what happens. Like that's real life. And I'm not saying this would happen exactly as it is in the show, because the show's a comedy, and there's always that lever you can pull in this show that she's like, oh, she's got some movie star guy. But I think it's very realistic because I've seen it.
Completely agree. Something that I wanted to touch on with you guys peripherally is, and maybe this won't be as like keen in your memory for this time period since you went and watched it non-live. And it seems like this show is really having a moment.
Right.
We did this probably at the right time where
it's weird. Like I didn't realize she was resurging like this. I just saw you had an Instagram story of revisiting Girls, and I was like, oh dude, I just started watching it. I didn't know it was like coming back into the fold again.
Yeah, in 2020, 2021, we had The Sopranos have its second wind, and people really got into that. I feel like that's what's happening right now with Girls, and people are checking it out. Did either of you guys ever check out like the Girls clones, the Imposters, all these different series that were trying to do Girls, but like tweak the formula?
Insecure. I mean, Insecure was the black girl version of it with Issa Rae. I watched every episode Insecure. Of that show. Yeah.
How to Make It in America, I feel like was probably around the same time. Yeah. It was like we're doing the guy version of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hadn't really had any inclination to even watch Girls until, like it was just been recommended to me probably every so often for the last couple of years. And like I said, basically just off of the, I can be kind of a simpleton when it comes to, getting what's going to get me interested, or what's going to be the hook. And yeah, like the Adam Driver, Sam Hyde, and then like comparisons, and then Lena Dunham. I don't know. There was something about her character that definitely had resonance for me. And so like between those two, it was kind of like something that was magnetic enough to kind of get me in the door. And then, from there on out, it was just lock me in. So if there's other, similar shows, it's something that I never would have considered myself to have really gotten much out of. But I'm expanding my horizons now. I just haven't done so with those particular programs that you mentioned yet.
I can't imagine any of them compare. I watched Insecure. I watched Insecure because it was on, and it was just like, it sucks. I watched every episode of it. It sucks, but it's every bit of it. Like Issa Rae is like fucking these like guys that look like they play like wide receiver for the fucking Colts or something. You're just like, and I don't think she's like horrible looking, but it's like it's kind of the same concept where she's just like, they be fighting over me. They like all
they
these
lack
guys.
The honesty. The shows lack the same level of honesty. I mean, the closest thing that I can think of that would have been like an offshoot is Looking, which was like the gay guy version of Girls that I believe the director Andrew Hay did, and that was still like mid. It didn't really. It
Yeah.
did not have any of the energy that this show had. It was like decent quality, but that's about the nicest thing I can say about it. And even that's like forgotten to time. I feel like Broad City. That's another one where people checked into that because they thought it was like the more ethnic, funny version of it. And who thinks about that show anymore? Who thinks about Hannibal Buress in 2026?
I was watching the new Comeback, the Lisa Kudrow show. I was watching, it's the newer season's on right now. And Abby from Broad City, the girl, not Alana Glazer, but the other one that's in Broad City, pops up in that, and I was like, wow, what a relic! Like this is like something Indiana Jones would steal from the 2010s. He'd be like, I've got this precious relic that no one remembers or has ever even heard of, and you're just like, wow, like that. These show again, they don't have Lena Dunham. That's why it's good. That's why even the people that hate it, it's like you wouldn't hate something that wasn't this good. Like this wouldn't inspire the vitriol in you. And I think what's really funny about this is Lena Dunham's really good about critiquing her own beliefs in the show. I think the show works as this kind of like layer and kind of liaison to getting where she can't even go in her private life a lot of times, or not private life, but like her books and stuff. When she tries to Me Too that author in season 6, I want to say, there's this author who she loves, but she finds out that he like fucks college students and stuff. And then now it does turn out that the guy's a little bit weird at the end. It does. But she tries to Me Too this guy, and she is in there, but she's also dividing her other part of her kind of like devil's advocate version of herself into that author. It almost is like Dostoevsky in fashion, which I really enjoyed. And he's just kind of saying like, you think you're just like doing some project. He's like, but you're actually like tearing me down for something that like, is not bad. Like, the thing I did is not bad. That like having some girl who loves all my work come over and blow me is not that big of a deal. Like and he's just, it's weird. It's like, it's a very weird episode, kind of a standalone. Doesn't really go back and forth between characters or anything. It kind of focuses on this. She does that a bunch of times. And then you also take the other episode where I actually think it's one of the better parts, I believe, of season 4, where Adam is getting his just due as an actor, and he's kind of coming up. He's in this Shaw play, and you can tell Lena is trying to figure out if like two creative people that are on the come up together can actually like work, or does one of them have to kind of just be this like yeoman, works a regular 9 to 5, and then the other person is a creative person. She's told constantly that it kind of doesn't work by the Tony Award winning singer lady, and she's just kind of like, she's going through that at the same time with Jack Antonoff, right? Where Jack Antonoff's like, did anyone think that the guy who did Fun was going to be doing Taylor Swift albums? And like, or I don't know if he's done Taylor Swift, but he's done like Lorde and these huge pop albums, produced them, and he guy's a megastar now. And so that felt like this unexpected thing where it's like this obviously talented man kind of got like crazy level talent. And I think Lena Dunham is like, I really want to appreciate that, but it's kind of supposed to be me. Like, I'm supposed to be the one that's doing that. And I think that's a really normal human urge. It's kind of this thing that you don't want to ever have shown about yourself. But I think Lena Dunham's put on this earth to show you things about that deep, dark thoughts about yourself that she's happy to admit. And that's why the nudity in her show is just her doing that.
I like
that. Anytime you see her
naked,
naked,
I like that you put it that way.
Anytime you see her naked, it's basically her like, you're not supposed to see this. If you had this body, you'd never show it to a single fucking person. I'm going to show it to everybody because that's my duty on earth.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I think I'd be just fine without seeing her tiny tits on that flabby body, but that's okay.
No. I'm saying if you had her body, I'm saying if you were Lena Dunham, you would never be naked in front of anybody.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you would never be like, there's a camera there. I would rather somebody die before see this fucking thing. But she is like, I'll be the one to do it then.
Yeah.
Like, that's why she's here. I'm not saying people want to see it. I'm just saying, like, it's every time you see it, it makes you uncomfortable because you're just like, that's why she's here, huh? Like, that is why she's here. And that comes in with all of these other like thematic things where you're like, wow, it's actually kind of ugly. It's actually that ugly jealousy of like you being obviously talented, but somebody else getting respect for their obvious talent really makes you hate them. you know, and make you find them less attractive or not want to be with them or tear them down or tell them not to do it even, you know. And
that
it's like
competition in a relationship, it just seems, I'm lucky in that I have never encountered that firsthand. It just seems like, how do you carry on that way? I mean, it's
You can't.
bound for some sort of doom, right? And I guess that's what happened with her and Jack.
totally.
And on the Me Too kick of season 6, there's a part of the book, and it's kind of just very momentary, where she's talking about being invited out to a business dinner with a famous director who then drops her off at her place, but tries to fuck her, I guess, in the car when he goes to do that. And she tucks and rolls out of the car. I don't want to speculate, but I kind of felt like, is that Albert Brooks maybe? Because Judd Apatow fosters the
Brooks.
meeting, right? And it's a comedy director. So I'm trying to do the math here. I'm like, well, who would? I mean, Judd Apatow would be a well-connected guy. You could probably.
I think it was Mel. I think it was Mel Brooks.
Oh my God, he's
Yeah, he was old. He was fucking 89 years old at the time.
pretty
And it was
impressive that he was even driving.
what? You don't want to have sex with old Mel? Yeah. He said the N word
man.
15 times after, and like Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, he's doing Blazing Saddles jokes to her during the
yeah,
car ride home.
yeah. You mind if I whip this? Excuse me while I whip this out. That's what he said. No, Albert. Yeah, that's interesting. And then she even talks about the girls' Me Too, like where she defends one of the executives.
Oh yeah, Jenny Connor puts out a tweet, I think, condemning. Who was that? Was it a
I
writer
don't.
or something?
She really doesn't address like the specifics of it in the book, but it's easily attainable information. Let's say so. It's Lena.
Right.
It's in 2017. So there's Lena. I forget the names of it too. I was a story I completely missed, like when it happened, so I didn't really know.
They couched it
2017.
in, there's a lot of allegations out there, but this one is for certain. Like they phrased it in that sort of fashion, and I don't remember the specifics about it, but in the book, Lena Dunham is like, and I guess the dude's name wound up getting cleared at the end of it because she's like, I was in the hospital, I was coming off of drugs, I don't remember any of this. Jenny Connor, she doesn't say it outright because I guess there's like a legal implication. You have to prove that once you do say it, if it becomes a problem in court. But that
Murray
that was the idea
Miller.
there.
Murray Miller was the guy's name. So he was a writer on her staff, I guess, or whatever. Just one of the writers on Girls. And there was an actress, Aurora Perinow, who said, I've never heard of her, but they both defended the guy. And I think it was just, that's my friend. He wouldn't do that. Essentially, that's just like this thing, that she did. But this is after she's already come under so much fire from people. So this was kind of just like a softball. They're like, hey, it's the height of the Me Too movement. I figured as a feminist, you'd be like, making an example out of this guy or something, which is kind of unfortunately like a corner you back yourself into when you're Lena Dunham. Like you do it, and she'll never come out of that corner. By the way, like she does in the book, she retreats to that constantly. When you realize you're like, that's not exactly the root of your problem. Like exactly the root of your problems in here, but she has to do this. Like and doctors, they never listen to women and stuff like that. And I'm always just like, well, the women,
Medical misogyny.
There's a lot of medical misogyny happening in the book, and I'm kind of like, yeah, but you're like a Klonopin addict. You know what I mean? Like you're addicted to pills. Like I don't think the doctor would listen to you very much. You are addicted to pills, and obviously, they do prescribe way too many of those damn things. Not anymore. I don't think they don't really. They're kind of stingy on that stuff, from what I've heard. And but there's a lot of these things. But she's equally talking about a bunch of like nurses in the field that weren't listening to her, like women nurses and stuff. And I was just like, okay, yeah, I guess this is Ben's fault. All right, gotcha. And it's this comfort zone for her. But it's funny. It's like you're being hyper raw and like real in your book, like to an alarming degree, where you're like, you should not have said that. Which she addresses like, I'm the person who always says the things I should have kept to myself. And then she just kind of goes to these bog standard like 2017 feminist like tropes as like this kind of like Snuggie that she wears. Like on the couch with a little box of Franzia. Like that's the cozy zone for her. And it's frustrating, but it's also just like that's the character. That's Hannah Horvath. Like Hannah will come out and be this like, she'll be like doing anything with anybody, like all these weird sexual things. She likes being dominated and all that stuff. And it's funny when they show the movie of that Adam and Jessa make about Adam and Hannah's romance. And like the character's like painted in like a better light, in my opinion, than than Hannah actually is. But she's offended by it and stuff. But it's like, no, you're actually like way crazier than that. It's gosh, I don't know. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What other? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I think that interaction there really encapsulates something very consistent throughout the character of Hannah Horvath throughout the series, just like a maybe a bit too self-assured and having too good of a. I mean, I guess they say as much that she's got narcissistic tendencies, and they all mostly do, for the most part, and other various quirks personality wise. So, but I did really enjoy that whole thing, because it's just funny when she kind of comes to the realization of what what this is all about. That's a funny whole arc there for sure.
Yeah, and I also I just love the I love that she's this. I don't know how I want to say it. It's like I love that we will never get another one. I don't think. Like, I don't think we'll ever get. And that you might hate Lena Dunham and you might go good, but I think it's kind of crazy. I think she's one of one. I think she's this person who is like pretty. She like delves into stuff she's not supposed to see. Like, she was watching all types of Sam Hyde videos all the time. Like, she was all on alt-right Twitter and stuff, like with a burner account. Like, she was on all of these things. She Google searches herself constantly. That's in the memoir. She's like, it's this, which is like, unfortunately, like if you put stuff out there, you're always going to search what people are saying about it. Right. I don't know a single person that doesn't. And if they tell me they don't, I don't believe them, to be quite honest, especially on this like streamer level and stuff. Like, you always want to read the comments. I don't care if they're good or bad. It could literally say, this is a bad comment. You will click, yes, I want to see this. And she is just constantly seeing this. And she's always shocked when it's a woman doing it to her. And the problem is, man, is like, you can't be honest about women and expect women who are believing a lie about women to go along with it. I'm sorry.
You know how many times I've wound up in Facebook timeout for that exact reason?
Yeah.
Some things I've said on there. It's always about women, and it gets me in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And getting older, watching this as a 35-year-old man, I'm Ray, basically. Watching this as Ray, the watching it now is when you develop this form of like, I don't actually believe I'm a misogynist. I don't. I'm a wife guy. I love my damn wife. I don't really like a lot of the other ones. I think men are meant to like one woman, not women. One woman. I think you're supposed to like. I think that kind of adds up in the world if all men like one woman, like, and kind of maybe keep it separate. Maybe there might be a little spillover that creates a little controversy. I get that, but we're not meant to love like all of women, because they're really complex creatures. They're really complex. And I think like true, like refined misogyny is kind of like, I heard somebody say this, I can't remember who it was when like a real misogynist is going to pay all the bills, because they're going to be like, I'm not going to leave this fucking checkbook with the wife. Like, I'm not going to ask her to handle some shit that I know is going to become a fucking debacle. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think there's a little of that to Lena Dunham, where she's like, I don't like this new age, like, epic Pepe misogyny. She's like, I like the old school kind, a little bit. Like, I feel like she likes the old school kind a little bit. The kind of like, here's my jacket, kind of like just that kind of, not this like guy who's going to debate you in the marketplace of ideas.
Right.
I think
misogyny.
There you go. Old school, like the noir. There's that scene, right? There's that scene of where she does the noir femme fatale role playing thing to try to get Adam to fuck her the way he used to, and he's well past that point. And he plays along with it for a little bit. It's very funny. And then she's like, I usually fuck the jocks, like not the nerd guy. And he's like, what the fuck? And he like spazzes out. It's actually really funny, but it's also kind of scary. You're just like, damn, that's fucked up. Don't do that. But you can tell it's like she's kind of craving that a little bit. Which many such cases, if you've ever met a woman outside of the internet, like they eventually all get to the same point a lot of times, like this kind of like, this is actually what I want out of a guy a little bit. And you learn it. So it's always really frustrating to see these dishonest portrayals of women where you're like, they're not like, what's the movies where like, the movies where like these new Marvel ones where it's like just a woman and a dog like fighting everybody, and like her room is just,
that's every movie now.
Her room is full. Guys. It's Blondie's "Call Me" is playing in this weird dubstep version, kind of like underwater zoomer, dubstep kind of version of it. And then there's pizza boxes all over her house. And she's like, I don't do anything. My house is disgusting. Like, I'm so gross. I don't have time because I'm fighting. And you're just like, what is the point of this? Like,
Has
I
anyone
get it.
ever met that girl, by the
No.
way? No, it doesn't exist.
Girls' cars are dirty.
Yeah.
That's what their cars are filthy and disgusting. They just throw food in the back seat. That's what they do. They eat while they drive constantly. I mean, I will too here and there, but like they will eat with like forks and knives while they drive. They will eat a 3-course meal on the center console because they're scared of having guys eat with them. And Hannah talks about this. They're scared when you first meet a girl. The girls are always scared to eat, right? Like they just won't like stuff their face. For whatever reason, they think a guy's just going to be like this. I'm out or whatever. But there was a time where Hannah's dating a guy, and I can't remember who it is. They go out to dinner, and he's like, "What would you order if I wasn't here?" And then she's like, "The cheeseburger." He's like, "Why don't you just order that?" And it's just like kind of funny. She really gets it, man. Like that's why the show works, man. It's because the characters are funny, the dialogue's funny, but she also gets it. Even when the show kind of slips into absurdity, it's still tethered into like, nah, this is how chicks are, man. They're crazy.
You get the full package right in the title. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna leave you having nothing to guess about. You know exactly what you're getting into.
Yeah, and I think Girl Incorporated doesn't like that. They want men to figure out each woman individually, kind of, and decode the ring a little bit and get the secret message in it. But Lena Dunham kind of gave you the secret message. And what sucks is like, you see these frustrating ending between Adam and Lena, which I don't know if I think a lot of people don't want Hannah to end up with Adam, but like, I don't know how you can watch the show and say she shouldn't. I don't get how you can watch the show and not want them to be together. Like I think you want them to, like, you're like, fine. You kind of want that to work. I understand why maybe Adam wouldn't want to raise that baby, but he does. And he clearly wants to. You want that to happen, but like at the end of the day, they're kind of like contrarian creatures sometimes. Like they'll just do some shit and you're just like, why did you do that? And they're like, I don't know. Now I'm sad. and you're just like, all right, and I know men like that too, for sure. Like but it's like as guys, you look at them and you're like, what the fuck is your problem, man?
I think that what that shows is like a specific kind of mentality I see with a lot of millennials specifically, and bigger city millennials, where there is always this idea of acceptance of an expiration date to relationships or friendships.
Yes.
That everything's going to be disposable or
Dude.
recycled into something new, and you're going to move on at the end of the day. There's never like this idea of a permanence to things. It's almost like that's an infantile gesture to think that you could have someone in your life forever.
Yeah.
Right. And so they almost like lean into that preemptively and invite the destruction, invite the doom to their table to kind of get ahead of that, but not realizing like that there is the option of like just trying to work through something. And you have so many moments in this series between Adam and Hannah where they could try to work through it.
Yeah.
And they don't. They sucker punch each other with these different things at multiple turns, and it ends in this good soup moment with them, deciding, okay, it's going to be two separate avenues we're going down here.
Man, it sucks, dude. And you get even between the girls, right? Like the fact that like it's tough to do when you realize things have a shelf life, like things that you really cherish and value in your life, and maybe not even in real time, but when you start to see a little bit of mold, a little bit of something, you're like, I might have to throw that out soon. And but that's the only time you start really trying to cling to, no, that's bullshit. Expiration dates are neoliberal. Like this is a which I agree with, to be honest. But anyway, that's just I mean that in a literal sense. I think those are. But anyways, Shoshana is the first person to realize that in the thing that actually we're not going to be friends with these girls forever. For a long time, she's tethered by being the girl who watches TV shows about sex and relationships all the time, despite never having any of her own. But after she gets a little bit of agency in the show through sex, and just boyfriends and things like that, she kind of grows up. She's in college longer than anybody, I think. And she finally realizes that there's more to life than this. What she does is she does the abroad thing, which I totally fucking love. This message is that you don't just go abroad when you're fucking mad, like, or something like that. It sucks. She goes to Japan. Shoshana goes to Japan. It's like, I got to get far away from my friend group. She takes a job for, and I really like the fat girl that plays just absolutely nothing blank slate of a woman that ends up with Ray, by the way, who can just talk at her for the rest of his life. It's actually a perfect match when you think about it. But she's this like real, like, you know, neon cursive sign lady in the background, and she hires Shoshana to go to Japan. And Shoshana goes to Japan, and she's just like, I want to love this. She gets the hairstyle, she gets all the clothing and everything. She goes to the Japanese sex dungeons where guys get hot wax poured on them by Japanese girls. She wears the nurse's outfit. She does all these things, and she's like, this sucks. So what she really needs to realize is that it's okay to not flee where you're from to get away from your friends. And after a while, friendship, when you get older, and because none of these people have kids at the moment, right? Your friends when you have kids are typically people with kids, and your kids are the conduit between them. And so these kids, my son plays Little League with this kid, then we're friends with the parents and stuff. That was all my parents' friends when they were a kid. I didn't know any of my parents who had like childhood friends that hung out with us. It didn't happen. And we grew up in the same city they grew up in. And there's actually this kind of like yin and yang kind of zen, or I think zen is more the term. This kind of zen that's really hard to achieve is this person lives 20 minutes away from me, but I'm not going to hang out with them every day because I'm older now.
Yeah.
And we're different people now, and we'll see each other here and there, and it'll be really fun. It'll be like we never left off, but we're not going to hang out all the time like we used to, because that's what young people do. And Shoshana kind of realizes that at the end, even though she's really blunt about it.
And she's the youngest of the four. So for her to come to that realization before anyone else, and not wind up in the situation that Hannah and Marnie do, where it's like, yeah, I'm going to help you with your kid because nobody else will. And we're in this like shitty house, and you know, this life sucks, and this is going to be it for the next 18 years at least. Yeah, it's I like that turn for her. I like that it kind of works out essentially for one of them.
Yeah, I agree. What are some of your other guys' favorite moments? Just stuff that like sticks with you that you'll like never forget from this show. Just even if it's like singular moments, even if it's just something that made you laugh.
Well, I'd
A lot
say
of that for me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Eggy.
Well, probably the first time that I went to my phone after a scene to then rewatch the scene on my phone would be Marnie at the club giving the nice birthday Kanye performance.
Yo, my God.
Faster, stronger.
Oh, at the app development, like the thing that is so good. Yeah, that one, her singing stuff is so funny because she just gets that look. And the editing that's done on this show is really funny because there's a moment when there's like a public function and you kind of forget about Marnie for a while, but then there's like this moment where you just see it developing on her face. She's like, this needs me. This needs me to like take commandeer at when Ray runs for city council, right? And he wins election night, and she gets up and decides to tell everyone she's getting married. One of my favorite. That's right.
Another 2010s relic. He is the incumbent that Ray winds up beating. We have Mark Maron in there.
He's not a 2010s relic, brother. I'm watching him currently in a show called Stick with Owen Wilson on Apple TV, where Owen Wilson's a golfer. And Mark Maron's actually hysterical in it. You wouldn't believe it, and you're like, I fucking can't believe what a libtard this guy is.
I could believe it. I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of stand-up comedy, gone to events. He was actually the funniest stand-up comedian live that I've ever seen.
He has a really good presence. Yeah, a really good presence to him.
You know, I wasn't like a fan of his comedy like that before going to see him. I went because it was like 2015, 2016, and I was a fan of WTF. And I was like, all right, cool.
Sure.
He's playing at the local theater. I'll go check it out. But he outperformed like everyone else that I had seen there. So
he's
I can't believe it.
Yeah, he's in the show with Owen Wilson, and they're both, you know, Owen Wilson is just such a veteran, just great like comedy guy, and Owen Wilson's good at turning on the sensitive button, you know. And so it's I'm not going to tout the show as something amazing, but it's just a fun kind of like after work wife core show, you know, like where you just throw it on and it's interesting enough. And
excited to see Owen Wilson in, what is it, Grand Fockers? Eggy, you would probably know. What the hell is this Meet the Fockers movie that's coming out?
Isn't Ariana Grande?
That's right.
Yeah.
I guess from my understanding, that's the significant other of Ben Stiller's child, like his son. It's like,
Got it.
so I thought maybe he was going to get on some, Ben Stiller writing himself in, getting some of that Grandussy, but I guess maybe not so much.
Is Ben Stiller's son named Mac Miller in the movie? But yeah, but anyways, the one of the moments I thought was really funny was it was a classic Desi and Marnie scene, is when they're trying to divide up the assets after their divorce. And Desi makes this impulse purchase for these German guitar pedals and talks about it like it's going to be this incredible thing, and he's like, no, but this is like for when we reinvent our sound and stuff, and she just doesn't see the vision whatsoever. Probably true, probably for a good reason. And they were talking to each other, and he's like about to break down, having one of his classic Desi crying moments, and he says, he's like we were supposed to be like Fleetwood Mac, and she's like, I don't think we are like Fleetwood Mac. You always want to be like Fleetwood Mac, and he just fucking freaks out. Their meltdowns together kill me. Like all the scenes with that. The Charlie's reappearance made me laugh really hard. It's actually kind of unsettling. Christopher Abbott's reappearance with his denim jacket, where he's buying her weird dresses to go, and she acts like a hooker for a little bit, and they go have like a classic couples moment. They have sex, and then she finds a tourniquet and a needle on the floor, just kind of realizing that during this whole show, you get a lot of Michelle Welbeck would agree with Lena Dunham on this, is that divorce is 10 times worse for men than it is for women, despite what you're told. Michelle Welbeck writes about this, I think, in Elementary Particles, is where men just slowly wither away and just die in their house after they get divorced. Women are probably sadder for like a month than men will ever be, like outwardly sad, but then they usually just move on because by nature they're just going to find another partner. That's just what they do.
That's what I've seen of any guys who have
Mhm.
fallen apart after a long-term relationship or anything along those lines. Is like, damn, they are not permanently, but maybe for a long time they get fucked up from that.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of introspection to be able to properly recover and regain their course going forward.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. So yeah, there's, I if you're like a guy, I mean, we have 80% male listeners here, not to brag, but if you are a guy and you're just like, I'm not gonna watch that bullshit, all right, don't. But you're missing a fucking damn good show. I mean, where do you guys rank this? I don't know if you have to have a ranking, but in the HBO pantheon. Now, I don't know, Eggy, you said you're not the biggest TV watcher, but like I'm sure, I think typically the most network shows I've watched have been HBO network shows. Where do you guys have this, like, in there?
I think it's definitely above average, definitely high ranking, I would say. I keep it's like I said, it might be something that, from if you come from a similar like background perspective on this sort of material that I was before watching it, it might not be for you. Maybe it'll take a little coaxing. Maybe you got to just dip your toes and see. But like I said, everything's so once you're locked in, I mean, it's really just, there's nothing off-putting, no stark changes at any point throughout the show. It all just comes together really fluidly and in a way that's easy to enjoy, I feel like, and it'll still give you some thoughts, some thought-provoking times as well.
Mhm.
I really don't think I could think of any reason why I would say that people should not watch this show. I think you will enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would co-sign that. I mean, HBO used to be like the premier network
Yes.
for great scripted TV shows, and they haven't had that for so long. And this is really like the last, I think. Well, I guess White Lotus is that currently, but that's not. I guess suppose I suppose it's not an anthology show, but it is an anthology show because you have the connective tissue with some of the seasons, right? But it's always a new batch of characters. We haven't had something like this in a while, where it's like you're following the same group of characters for 6 years, and the quality of the writing is going to remain good. You're actually invested in how the whole
Right.
picture is going to come together at the end and what it's going to mean for these characters here. We need something like that, and I don't know. Maybe we'll get that soon because they're talking about doing a girls' movie now, right? Lena
I'm all
Dunham's
for
other
it.
Movies haven't
I'm all
really
for it.
worked out. Sharp Stick I thought was pretty good, but it's not girls. And then she also had the movie with Bella Ramsey that came out the same year, and that was not amazing. Nothing to remember, worth remembering. So
I just watched that movie like I watched that movie like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I already mostly forgot about it. So I would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, tiny furniture and girls are just great. I mean, and sometimes, I mean, hey, most people aren't lucky enough to get like to even have a magnum opus, or at least they get one by default. You know, like they get one. It's like, hey, that's my favorite of your work, but it's not like it's not going to live on the way this is. And it's weird. Because like I know it's probably overexposed now through memes, but I still just don't think there's a better show than Sopranos. So I just have that number one. I have this above a show like 6 Feet Under. I think it's better than a show like 6 Feet Under, which I did like. I've rewatched that twice. I had
great ending. Great ending.
Yes,
for 6 Feet Under.
agreed. They're just that show gets really annoying in Gen X. Like wow, like dude, this is like the Gen X like cynicism, Bill Hicks tone to it. Sometimes is like fuck, man. That makes you want to. It's just that part that age is like milk, a lot of times. And I would say a show that I loved from HBO that I would put in this tier with girls, but I'd have to revisit it is Big Love. Nobody likes that show, but I loved Big Love, which was the Mormon polygamy show starring Bill Paxton and Jeannie Triplehorn and Chloe Sevigny. That one, I would have that one maybe a little below it, but I have girls up there, man. Like I have girls up there. Like I'm not the biggest Deadwood fan. I think it's fine. I don't like it the way everybody else does. I don't think
people love Deadwood. I've never checked it out proper. I think I watched an episode or two, and it seems like it's good quality, but
it's not bad.
About
it's not bad.
Doesn't reel me in. The last HBO show that was scripted that I really thoroughly enjoyed was Winning Time. And
I cannot believe you liked that. That's crazy.
You weren't a fan of that?
I hated it.
You know what I loved about that? I loved that the Celtics won in the end. That's what I loved. I love that they canceled it and it ended with the Celtics winning against the Lakers.
That's true.
That was my favorite.
John C. Reilly as Jerry Buss. That was a hard out for me after a couple of episodes. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what are some other like classic HBO shows or even just like good HBO shows that I've watched a bunch.
Entourage. Where does this fall with Entourage?
It's better
for you.
I liked it more.
I agree.
I liked it more. And Entourage serves a different purpose because again, you're not meant to really get to know the guys that much. Like you're meant to just kind of they're the guy, they're a good hang. And it kind of is nice because like a male entourage, you're kind of like I've had best friends that I don't know or really close friends that I don't know a damn thing about. And then you find out they're like real super. I find out I've known Cy since I was in fucking 8th grade. And he'll tell me some shit he's into, and I'm like, this whole time? Like you've liked this shit this whole time. I found out he liked the fucking gay hockey show. He watches the gay hockey show right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is that called? Damn. That's right.
Heated Rivalry.
Heated Rivalry. Yeah. He says the sex is great. It's the best part. But yeah.
Roseville.
Yeah. He's like, it's so good. But no, like he contains multitudes. And like I feel like girls unfortunately know everything about each other. Like they know too much. They see Oz. They see Almighty Oz behind the curtain. I think, like there's this
Oz,
thing.
There's a good HBO show. A lot of gay sex there too.
That is above girls. That show fucking rules. That's a jail soap opera. Is incredible. I love how trashy it looks now. Like when you watch it now, you're like, wow, this is like trash.
Yeah,
like just
like camcorders and video.
It's like, dude, CKY has better visuals than this. Like the quality. Yeah. It's like, did fucking Brandon DiCamillo gonna be in Oz soon? Like this is crazy. But I do love Oz. Oz is great though. I think it kind of falls off a little bit. I don't think girls.
The last season or two. Yeah. That would be if we were in a different environment now.
Yeah,
I think that would be a good one to bring back because you could just always circle back to the prison there.
Well, Oz is just like insurance commercial guys raping each other in jail.
yeah. It's
J.K. Simmons and Mayhem from Allstate, and they're like raping in jail. It's actually what's his name? Law and Order guy. The Law and Order guy. What's his
Christopher Maloney?
Maloney, who's solving rapes all the time, is the diabolical rapist.
The worst guy
in Oz. He's horrible. And you're just like, all of these people are in this show. Edie Falco leaves Oz to go do The Sopranos. It's like a huge launching pad for a lot of people. But it's a great show. I do love that. But it might be recency bias because I finished it 30 or not even 30 minutes, 30 seconds before we got on here. It might be recency bias, but I got this up there, man. I got this. I'm just trying to think of like maybe there's some other HBO shows that I loved, but I mean, I like Sopranos, Big Love, Girls, like all those is like some of my favorites. And I don't know, man. It's kind of tough. It's I was surprised at how much I thought I'd be eye rolling a lot more at it, but I got sucked into this damn show, dude. I got sucked in. Real fast, I wanted to do something before we go. It might take too long to do all of us, but we'll see. So this is what girl's character are you? Remember these? Remember the quizzes back in the day?
Yeah,
there was a huge
Sex in the City. I'm a Miranda.
big Facebook, big
big
Facebook tier thing. So I'm not sure if my computer is gonna die because of doing this quiz because there's a Hertz rental car ad and a lot of other stuff happening on there. But I don't know how this is gonna work. But Lobres, let's do you.
Oh boy. Oh god. Okay.
Okay. So pick something to watch. These are 12 questions, so hopefully they'll go by fast. Pick something to watch: a musical, a rom-com, reality show, indie film, old classic movie, social documentary, or watching TV is a waste of time.
Reality show.
Got it. Okay. Next up, pick an app or a website: Etsy, LinkedIn, Twitter, Grindr. Don't pick that one, dude. Spotify. I'm not a loser. I prefer the real world, or Letterboxd.
Spotify.
Nice. You would describe yourself as an artist, free spirit, smart individual, a chill person, ambitious individual, a cutie with a booty, a simple individual.
Ambitious.
Ambitious individual. Okay, gotcha. I would have put you as an artist there, but that's okay.
Oh,
you're doing the
I'm
quiz,
humble.
not me. Others would describe you. So maybe I can answer this one for you. Others would describe you as energetic but exhausting, a strange individual, not reliable, a caring but controlling person, a nihilistic, a total mess, or people have different opinions about me.
Caring but controlling.
Nice. Now, I think your film work, is that coming from there? Maybe a little?
Wow. Mostly.
Okay.
Mostly.
Got it.
Yeah. Maybe some.
I
extra
don't view you
stuff,
as a
too.
very
I
good.
don't know.
The work we've done together, I'm like, this guy, he's just laid back. He's cool as a cucumber. So in the waiting room, you read the book you brought, play on your cell phone, look at the magazines lying around, talk to others in the room, look at the others in the room and judge them a little, stare at the wall, are bored and regret being there.
Look at the others in the room and judge them.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Got it there. Which girl's character do you think you'd be closest to? Just pick one of the main ones.
Is it only the girls or the guys?
I don't think you're an Elijah personally. He's on there.
Oh no.
Ray.
Probably Adam.
Okay. I feel like we're all Adams here, but yeah, just kind of. Which girl's character do you think you're least likely to be friends with? Jessa, Elijah, Desi. I don't think I'd be friends with any of the characters. Hannah or Shoshana.
Jessa.
Yeah, I know. That's actually probably the case. Pick something to buy at the thrift store: a quirky T-shirt, a poster of an old Hollywood celebrity, a cute purse, random pieces of metal, a vintage record player. I don't want any of this crap. An inspirational quote book.
Poster.
Old Hollywood celebrity. Yeah, that's pretty cool. How do you think Hannah's story should have ended? She finds out who her real friends are and she's grateful for them. I don't really care for her. She finally manages to publish her ebook. She becomes responsible and mature. She remains friends with the original group of friends and stays in Brooklyn. She raised her child with Adam. She didn't have a baby, and she continues her life in Brooklyn.
Ooh. Probably raises the baby with Adam.
I know. It has to. Fuck. I mean, I do love the way it ended, but yeah, it's pretty good. Choose an activity to do with your friends. Go to the museum, taking a meditation class, not medication class, karaoke, shopping, taking a walk in the forest, going clubbing, going to a yogurt shop.
Karaoke.
Damn. How do you do that often, or is this just kind of like
not often enough?
Okay, nice. Pick a random hashtag: girl power, male manipulator, carpe diem, live, laugh, love, follow for follow. God, how old was this?
Oh wow.
Actually, it's not that old because Skibbity Toilet is on there.
Okay. You know what? We'll
Dank
do follow
and
for
dank
follow.
Okay, you wouldn't pick dank memes. That was the final
No,
one.
I was guilty of that in like 2011, trying to get
Nice,
Instagram
dude.
followers.
That's good networking, dude. Now, follow for follow rules, dude. Or like, remember MySpace whoring back in the day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know it, dude. Which generation do you find that matches you the most mentally? None. I'm rather unique. Oh god, I can imagine some girl clicking that. Gen X, Millennial, Boomer, Gen Z, the silent generation, Gen Alpha.
Oh, I think just millennial, honestly.
Yeah, I know. I would love to pick something else, but yeah, it's okay. I regret to inform you that you're Marnie.
Oh no! Oh, that's the worst outcome. That is the least flattering one.
It brings me no pleasure to do that. That was a long quiz. We don't have to do it for everybody, but I'm glad we did it for low res.
Well, I typed out my answers if you want to plug them in real quick.
That's a good idea. That's a fucking veteran streamer move by you, dude.
I don't know if it's gonna show up right.
Yeah, Eggy. Okay. Yeah, I really like that. Okay. Question one is the something to watch.
Musical.
Damn.
I'm gonna take a quick pee while you guys do this. Please. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Pick an app website.
At Etsy.
Okay. That's pretty funny. You would describe yourself as
artist.
Hell yeah. Others would describe you as
total mess.
In a waiting room, you
stare at the wall.
Okay. Which of the girl characters do you think you'd be closest to?
It's Adam.
Nice. Which girl's character are you least likely to be friends with?
Desi is too volatile. Can't go for it.
Ooh, I totally agree. Pick something to buy at the thrift shop.
I don't want any of it.
Okay. I don't want any of this crap.
That's right.
How do you think Hannah's story should have ended?
I think she should have published her ebook. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your flag planted and you can go from there. That's how I feel about it.
Absolutely, for sure. Choose an activity you do with your friends.
I would walk in the forest.
Yeah, I like that. Random hashtag.
I had to go dank memes.
Nice. Generation that matches you the most mentally.
I'm gonna say silent generation.
Damn, dude, you're fucking old school, dude. You're a classic man. You're a Hannah Horvath, dude.
Well, I guess it is what it is. That's probably why part of me wanted to say, like, going into it, like, oh, you know, that would never be me. I could never understand or relate, but maybe
you.
I mean, honestly, that's the way she kind of bounces around and has some issues, and you know, ends up, you know, doing some different things, and not always making the best choices, but you know, staying headstrong about it.
I like that though. I think that's I think that's good. I think I'm hoping I'm doing the quiz right now for the time's sake and just going through the questions a million times. I won't say it out loud. Also because this is a deeply personal, private thing that I'm doing right now, and I don't want to tell you guys my answers. But I think yeah, I'm definitely a strange individual. I'll say that.
I'm hoping you come up as Shoshana. So
I know.
I trifecta here.
I will say that's my prediction of what I'm going to get. I definitely think that. But yeah, I think being Hannah is like what a lot of people like. If you're watching the show, like honestly, and you're not some Jezebel columnist, like I just don't think you could be anti-Hannah. It's kind of like people that watch Sopranos. And when I put out the Sopranos episode, everybody said Tony's bad. Like, dude, you don't watch the fucking show for 7 seasons and be like, Tony sucks. Like, can you guys speak to that? Like, people who just like, because I know that became big after Breaking Bad. Because a lot of people there's a reading of Breaking Bad where you can be like, man, Walter's a dickhead. You know, like you can do that. But I don't think that applies to every show. I think a lot of people write their protagonists as like good a lot of times.
The media literacy conversation. I mean, look, I think, you know, there's no wrong way to interpret the character. And when you do have a character like Hannah or like Walter White or Tony, you know, there's so much. You get such a big range of actions, of emotions, of what their MO is as just a character existing in that world. You can understand a lot of their decisions. Sometimes, you know, there's the emotional eruptions you don't agree with. And it's as close to a human portrayal as possible. So to write them off as good or bad, unless they do something like really catastrophic, I guess you could say that with Tony. You know, I think it's not productive. It's not like a good way to be like viewing the piece of art that you're consuming there. I think you're going to lose out if you look through so narrow of a lens.
I think it's plausible deniability for when a show gets canceled and like retconned is bad too, to be like, well, I didn't like the character. So like I feel like there's always like people are just constantly doing this plausible deniability thing instead of actually like engaging. Like I feel bad for people that make art now, like because I don't consider podcasting art. I know some people do, but I view it as like an essential service. We're essential workers, if you will. I view it as that is like, hey, 2 hours for your shitty job, like that's what we do. And so, but for people that actually like make art that you need to like engage with, I feel bad for them because I think people are becoming quote unquote media literate at like an alarming degree. And it sucks. Like we kind of need drone audiences again. And I'm saying these words kind of with the quotes and stuff on them because I think there's the mystique of this shit like is viewed as like low IQ to be mystified as something, by something. But I think it's actually that's a good way to go into something is that.
That's how you enjoy things. You there has to be like a good protective layer between whatever it is you're consuming and you, the consumer. And I do fully believe that. On the note that you were saying before, like it doesn't interest you whatever the behind the scenes thing is usually because it does remove something. When it becomes more, you can envision yourself being part of the process or doing it. It does spoil something along the way.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got Ray.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. So Lores, you and I have had sex via this quiz. Ray does fuck Marnie. He doesn't fuck Hannah though. He gets head from Hannah in his coffee truck, and it's really aggressive head.
So did he crash the whip?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, exactly. So,
we end this Eskimo Brothers.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Girls is a great show. Definitely worth revisiting. You can watch it really fast. I suck at watching TV, and I was able to get through it pretty fast. It's taking me a really long time to watch Pagan Peak, which I love. But that's an hour-long show. It's this German, like, True Detective kind of ass show. It's excellent. But it's like I suck at watching them a lot of times. Like, but Girls, I was just locked in. So for let's get some fellas to watch Girls, okay? Like just some of the guys. Eggy, let everyone know where to find you at, before we sign off.
Hit me up, x.com/2eggwhite. We're over there. We're monitoring the situation day in and day out for all you. Once the $9 gas comes, I'll retweet it within the first minute of it getting posted. We're fresh to all the breaking headlines as long as I'm awake, and I'll tweet whatever else I have going on. I'll be tweeted out there too.
Hell yeah. And Mr. Lores, I noticed Movies was back. You guys were up to something for a couple weeks. Movies is back though. I've been you assault the RSS feed. I really like it. You guys assault it. Like it's just 3 notifications.
Oh yeah. Movies is back and better than ever. And honestly, I'm not even done shooting what we've been shooting, which is a top secret project. I've been recruited to write and direct by the Sonic Muse record label. It's a project I never thought I would helm or have anything to do with. So I'm very excited for that to hopefully wrap. I'm going to be in LA in early May shooting that, and we'll see what happens from there. But head on over to X. You can follow me at LowResWB. Or if you want to watch my first film, Mass State Lottery, go to mslfilm.com and you can buy it right now.
What a fucking movie that is, guys. No,
X
seriously.
is my second movie, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I really was not sure what that was going to be. Whenever somebody that you do something with regularly shows you something that like is different, and you're like, I really hope I like this. Like I would hate to have to like do. And I'm really thankful that I did because I was like, wow, actually, and it was so much. It's definitely for guys our age too. Like I think it's like very much like just if you grew up like not on the internet, but if you grew up like 10 years. If your first 10 years were not internet and then like but then your like teenage years were internet, there's this kind of like weird bridging in the way the story is told that you're like, that is exactly how we process information. People our age, I'm like, it's actually kind of crazy the way the story is told. So I absolutely highly recommend it. And I'm sorry, say where it's at again.
Go to mslfilm.com if you want to watch it. And it has leaked. So if you're a pirate, I guess you can find it for free. Just make sure to review it on Letterboxd or something after.
Find it at your own risk, because I'll fucking hunt you down if you pirate it.
And go send Low Res some money on Cash App after you say that it's the best film you've ever seen in the last 5 years, which you will when you watch it.
Yeah,
Thank
just
you.
like that's a hood Amazon rental right there. When you cash app low res $3.99 for watching Mass State Lottery, and you're just like, hey, I stole it, but I'm just it's like leaving a cash tip nowadays.
And then you don't have to pay
Exactly.
taxes on it either.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
true.
The next movie, we got Eggy in there, and hopefully that'll be out maybe this year. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Wow. Yeah.
right.
Like I said, I'm always out there. If you need a completely untrained actor who's not willing to travel or work past 8 p.m., I'm your guy. So like, if you're, I know you're probably like, I have so many parts for that right now, but it's like, I could totally use it. I'm your guy. Yeah.
I'm sure
not
we can
willing.
fit you in.
Yeah. No, it's like I
Yeah.
said, you got to come to me. Prefer to film in my house. I really don't want to go outside, maybe the yard, the premises or anything, but yeah, totally accessible guy for sure. Yeah, I would freeze up like a fucking clam on camera. Don't film me. So yeah, on that note, guys, everybody have a safe week. We'll catch you guys next time.